matter, an immature language. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Agents of Change, a homebrew Eberron adventure. I was an idiot last time. Unfortunately, I did not click the proper recording settings on Twitch, so unfortunately, the last episode will not be uploaded onto YouTube. That being said, this episode is going to be uploaded no problem, and the Zoom images fucked up again, so I gotta rearrange that. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, that GIF is epic, Matt. Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better.
Sorry, that's what I was working on in the background.
No, that's all good. It's all good.
But hello, everybody.
In the meantime, why don't you guys introduce yourselves while I fix this mess like an idiot? We'll start with Matt.
Certainly. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Matty Frost, and welcome back to Agents of Change. Not Agents of Chaos, Agents of Change. I'm glad to be back here again. I'm happy to chop down doors, get angry, and have a great time doing it. Let's get right into the action.
All right. Okay. What about Heather? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Heather, and this is Agents of Change.
Heyo!
Heyo! Welcome back to another episode. We're gonna have a great fucking time, and you know, all that jazz.
All that fun stuff. Awesome. All right, Jeremy, the man with the best/weirdest character I've ever seen. Jeremy, I don't think we can hear you, buddy.
I think he might have muted himself.
I think you may have muted yourself.
That's so great. Yeah.
Good start.
Anyway.
It's all good. We'll make fun of you for it later. It's all good.
Yeah, that's fine. I've resigned myself to that role with Guanmila.
The meme. Just
yeah. So I'm Jeremy. I'm looking forward to another session of Agents of Change, and I play Guanmila, who you'll have a hard time forgetting.
All right, Michael.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Agents of Change. This is Mario Stekhanif, played by Mike, and we are going to have ourselves a little bit of fun tonight.
Fantastic. Jojo, or Jomo.
All right. Hey everyone, my name is Jomo. You can also call me Jojo. I am the one who is constantly sneaking with food in the side. I will be playing Marjani, the cleric, and I hope that as we go along, we have some good fun.
Fantastic. Not sure why the chat isn't showing up for me on the side, but that's alright. Nathan, last but not least.
What's up? I'm Nathan. This is going to be a heckin' fun time. I am ready to crack skulls and drink ale and kick rodents, any miscreant rodents that we might encounter. Who knows? But this is going to be fun.
Fuck yeah.
Woohoo!
All right. Okay, somebody lost their face cam. Alandra, we lost your face cam for a second there.
We lost.
No, I didn't lose it. I turned it off. We're putting something up in the bedroom, so that's why.
Alright. I am gonna ask that you guys try to avoid, like, turning off the face cams if you can. Just so that way I don't have to keep rearranging at Streamlabs. But that's alright. That's alright. Or at least just let me know when that happens. But otherwise, we're good to go.
It's okay if we just, like, leave the face cam?
Yeah, if you just leave it on,
cool.
that's fine. I don't really care about that. So I gotta rearrange that real quick. While I'm doing that, there's a couple of announcements I have to make. First off, I mentioned last time something about a reputation system. Hopefully you guys got the PDF files for that. If not, no worries. Just please remember to download them later tonight when you get a chance if you haven't. So basically, the reputation system works a lot like in something like Fallout New Vegas or the Outer Worlds, where there are many different factions, and of course the city guard you have to deal with as well, for example, and all of the decisions you make can have some pretty spicy consequences with the different members. The more they like you, the better they treat you. The less they like you, the worse they'll treat you. And these can be pretty minor issues, such as, well, let's just say, maybe they won't let you into certain buildings or certain restaurants, but it could also be as extreme as people actively trying to kill you, so tread carefully
I
in
have
the
a
City of
question.
Towers. I am listening.
Where are these PDFs? Because I'm not seeing them on the text channels.
Oh, it's way back in the text channel. I'll just repost it later on tonight.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
I see it now. I found it.
No
Okay.
worries. Second announcement. This episode will actually be uploaded on YouTube this time. Apologies for technical issues last time, but this time we will actually keep it in the YouTube channel, warts and all. So I'm very excited for that. This will be the first episode to be uploaded. Still may be a little bit rough around the edges, but I think we're already doing a lot better than we were before. So I'm pretty excited if you guys are. 1 second. Almost
I'm super excited.
done.
It's like regular excited, except with a cape.
Alright, since we had to miss out on last night's session, here's a recap. Previously, on Agents of Change. Let me find some music for this.
Do a little transition.
We were introduced to our new Agents of Change within the City of Towers. First, there was Elandra, a fire genasi noblewoman desperately trying to escape her past, only to get swindled by an old, quote-unquote, friend, demanding money by the end of the week. Then there was Stekhanif, the human son of House Stekhanif's patriarch, the man responsible for building his first official warforged, but also the man now responsible for stealing and having issues remembering what he's stolen, giving him a shaky reputation of his father, who also runs the house company. And then there was Marjani Ovion, a human Twilight Domain cleric who managed to get some new followers to join her in her endeavors towards rebuilding the Church de Boldry, which has long since abandoned many years ago. Then there was Caleb, the rugged human barbarian who was undertaking a shady mercenary job to pay for his father's welfare, only to abandon the job for questionable circumstances, let's say. Egil was next, a tiefling barbarian who was, well, not barbarian, but a Viking, who was lost to a new land that was unfamiliar to him. I'm gonna get that name wrong
Without a B.
50
Bagel
million
without a B.
times. Egil, Lako my ego. All he wanted was a drink, but of course, a few rambunctious halflings looking for a fight just wouldn't let him have it. After a arm wrestling contest gone wrong, he got into a bit of a fight, but of course, being Egil, he got it by unscathed. Last but not least, there was the strange creature, or shifter, as the city calls them, Guanmila, who was frozen in amber only to be broken up by a group of miners and to be sold into the services of the Dark Lanterns instead of being trapped as something to be researched on for generations to come. A rather charming tiefling fellow by the name of Luxley Murdoch came to all of these strange characters, offering the chance at redemption and citywide peace over at the Agency of the Dark Lanterns, an espionage group devoted to keeping the peace between the dragon-marked houses, since the city guard refuses to do so, given some laws that were passed many years ago. Needless to say, everyone accepted this offer, some more reluctantly than others, and agreed to meet up at the Church of the Silver Flame, mostly abandoned, with travel bags in tow. After the party finally met in the church and ran to a fair bit of roughhousing and curved up fingers and other questionable behavior, nevertheless, Luxley decided to still push forward with his new agents, invite them to join him as we now find the agents stepping into the Dark Lantern's headquarters for the very first time. Where do we find them now? Ooh, let's find out.
Very nice intro.
Thank you.
Very comprehensive.
Previously on The Last of Us, as you step down into the newly opened descending staircase, some of you having to duck down to avoid hitting your heads as Cog just nonchalantly rams his head several times before finally learning how ducking works and just ducks down. As you take a look around down below, you find yourselves in a revolving space with dusty stone floors, assorted desks, and empty chairs. And in uncomfortable silence, as the only person you see in the room is a well-groomed halfling man with blue eyes and a tuxedo, just barely able to stand over the front desk with a coffee in his left hand and a book in his other hand. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. It's kind of hard to tell if he doesn't notice you or he just straight up doesn't give a shit. Needless to say, Luxley kind of turns to you all, lets out a heavy sigh, and smiles. Welcome to the Dark Lanterns. It's not quite the dramatic entrance I was hoping for, but it'll do for now, I suppose. And he approaches the front desk, kind of signaling you to come with him.
Take the room in as I walk up curiously.
Ah, finally! I don't have to deal with the rain and the sunlight rusting my armor.
Oh, Cog. If it would have rested your armor, I would have absolutely have mended it up as best
Oh, it
I
doesn't
could.
rust
Apologized to you.
armor. Everything I was led to believe was a lie. And the Murdoch just looks with raised eyebrows. He just looks back at you, Gonmila, and what is Gonmila doing over by that desk?
I'm kind of smelling things, somewhat just picking loose items up and looking at them, and
Murdoch just
understand.
kind of whispers to himself, "This is gonna be a long night," and knocks on the desk, and finally gain the attention of the halfling gentleman. Murdoch, who'd you bring? And what is that thing? Point at Gonmila as he's just sniffing the walls with his hands against the desks.
And this fucking thing.
That thing is going to be one of our new agents, along with the rest of these fine folks. Oh, the halfling places his shirt over his nose. It smells like rotten cheese and mushrooms, deep fried in skunk juice. Asimov. And Asimov leans in and whispers, and the only people who are able to listen in without a perception check are Gonmila and Marius, with your passive perceptions.
Awesome.
And he says, and you know, we aren't exactly in the process of hiring new agents, no. Not exactly, but we can't exactly keep those desks empty forever now, can we? You know that more than I do. And he stops whispering and just turns to the rest of you, the halfling man, very unexcited, just glaring at you all. He's like, very well, I suppose we did get off on one foot. Name's Isimov Krukov. I run front desk here.
Pleasure to meet you. Marius Stekhanif, and this is my compatriot, Cog.
Wait, oh, great, another... Wait, did you say Marius Stekhanif?
Yes.
You're not supposed to bring other house members here. What better way to bring down the houses than with one of their own? The director's not going to like this. You let me worry about the director. Yes, that's what worries me. Wait a minute. I almost forgot, with all the interesting introductions. Stop sniffing those crates! They're not for you! He just pulls out a broom. No, say what Gonmila's doing. And he's just, when he calms down, he puts down this broom, he's like, aren't you, taps on his desk, forgetting something? And Luxley just slaps his head on his forehead. It's like, oh, right, new policies, of course. You see Luxley pull out 2 hand crossbows from his sides in his coat. 2 hand crossbows kind of hidden beneath his lawn socks near his feet. Just place them all on the table, along with, assorted colors of darts from his left bag and a big pile of lethal and non-lethal crossbow bolts from his right pockets. There's kind of an uncomfortable silence where they both kind of look at each other, and Asimov kind of raises his eyebrows. And he's like, alright, fine. And he pulls out 2 daggers from his back, places them on the table. It's not everything. I don't know. Is it everything? God, you're such an asshole, Asimov. And he pulls out a grenade from his hairpin and plants
I'm sorry,
on the
at
table.
first I heard he pulls a grenade from his ear.
That's what I was going to say, but I corrected myself.
An ear grenade.
That is one
Air
hell of a
grenade.
magic trick.
Yeah.
Jeez, let me blow your
One hell
mind
of
with
an
this.
ear.
And he and Asimov kind of carries it all like a kid with a big bag of candy on Halloween and just stuffs it into a locker with his name on it, alongside several empty and rather dusty and seemingly unused lockers. And Luxley's like, oh, right, I may have neglected to mention, they have a new policy where they have to take our weapons away. Ah, splendid. Who's next?
Caleb immediately takes his axe from over his shoulder, looks at the little man behind the counter, and says, "If I find one more scratch here than I find, I will spend the next days polishing your stinking guts off my blade." And then I swing the axe down into the table, so it's kind of just sitting there. Just want to, like, I'm not chopping through the desk, but kind of just like there.
Yeah, you just kind of plant it, like, hairs
Here,
away, and he
take it.
looks surprisingly unexcited. And he just yawns. He's like, spill me edgy warrior routine. And he carries the axe, and he's like, that's right, I got it, and just kind of has to drag it on the ground and just shoves it into a locker and slams the locker shut before it tips over on him.
Big ol' claps.
Drenched in sweat, he's just like,
Right then.
is that everything?
I pull off the little javelin rig I have on my back, which also contains my hand crossbow, and then I just look to him saying, "You can't take away my hands, though."
Well, we would not
can
want
try.
that. Well, we wouldn't want that, now would we? And he stuffs the rest of his weapons away a little bit nervously. He's just like trying not to drop it with his sweaty palms, and he kind of stuffs it into a locker and just slams it shut and like takes out like he kind of, you see him snap his fingertips and the name. He's like, "What's your name?" Strange man.
Caleb Thorson, the chopper.
You see him snap his fingers, and the name Caleb and nothing else gets engraved into one of the lockers.
I put my hands on the desk and said, "My name is Caleb Thorson. You will remember it well."
You can make a intimidation or a persuasion check if you'd like with that.
I
Probably
will-
intimidation.
I will gladly. Normal roll.
Yeah, normal roll.
All right, here we go. First roll of the game.
You get the impression that he's kind of used to this shit.
14.
I'd say that's enough. Like, he tries to keep his cool, but you see his hands shaking ever so slightly, and he puts Thorson, aka the Chopper, onto your locker. It's like, oh, right, is that good enough, Harry man?
I didn't need my nickname, but you've done well, little one.
Please watch the merchandise next time. I just had these staples waxed. Who's next?
Oh, please. I've seen better craftsmanship in my day-to-day routine. Then Caleb just
Marius?
kind of marks over here.
Marius will lean forward,
And he swears in
cast-
halfling language.
cast mending across the table where the axe chop was.
You
Where'd you
kind of
got?
place your hand, and your mark on your hand begins to light up, and the floor underneath kind of reforms itself, like almost like glue is pouring out of your hands and just sealing every little crack together. And he's like, "Oh, well, it looks like Stekhanif is good for something. What about your weapons? As for the Warforged, it's okay as long as you keep eye on it."
All right.
What does it mean by an eye on it? Is it gonna take off one of its eyes and spy me the entire time?
No, Gog. It means keeping an eye means watching you, making certain that you don't draw any of your
Oh.
weapons.
Well, why doesn't he just say, "Keep a watch on me"?
It's a slang.
I must learn more about this slang another time.
Very much. And I pull off my bow, set it onto the table, quiver with that. I undo my weapons belt. I set that down. It has my rapier and my one dagger on it.
Finally, some
Well,
light
it's a-
weapons.
He holds up his hands, and then I'll do a sleight of hand, and it'll look like a dagger appears out of his hand.
Alright, he kind of stuffs that all into a locker, and he's thankfully just relieved that there's finally some lighter weapons to the table. And he stuffs it into a locker, and he's like, "Is that door?"
That should be it.
Alright, what name?
Marius works.
Oh, right, Marius Stekhanif. Sorry, memory, not so great today. And he puts down Marius Stekhanif, and along with your house insignia on the locker, and locks it shut. with an arcane
Alright.
lock spell, snapping his fingertips. And he's like, "Next."
Marjani will step forward and she will look at this halfling man
He
with
looks back.
with just kind of
Blinks
suspicious
audibly.
eyes.
He looks
And-
back, unimpressed.
And she will take out both her mace and her spear, and she will rest it on the table right there.
And he kind of daintily picks up the mace and looks back up to you and says, "Is that everything?"
I mean, everything that could physically kill you. I still have my magic, but that should be everything.
Oh, thanks, that's very comforting. And he stuffs that into a locker. He's like, "Name?"
Marjani Ovion.
And Marshani Ovion gets engraved onto one of the lockers, and he locks it shut. Next!
So, Guan steps closer, leaning over the counter, smelling as he goes.
Yeah, he puts his shirt up over his nose again.
And you hear what sounds like, some sort of movement on Guan's body, and what appears to, you hear like a suction noise, like something letting go, and a big rod comes off of his body. It looks like a piece of his body, like there's fungus growing all over it.
Uh-huh.
And then on his left arm, where there's like a bunch of growth on his forearm, that you could see it kind of expands and then closes, and Guan says, it's you could see I've grown quite attached, and there's a pungent smell coming off all of this stuff. And he kind of motions towards the halfling, pushing his staff all the way right in front of his face, without really knowing that there's boundary there.
The halfling, picks up the stick like it's a dead rat, and even Murdoch looks like he's about to vomit profusely. And he just stuffs it into the locker, locks it shut, uses magic to write down "contaminated" on the locker. And he's like, "Name?"
You can call me Guanmaila.
Oh, good. It doesn't even have a normal name. Fantastic. And he writes Guanmaila with an I, not a Y, on the locker. That's good. You go over there. Just don't search for anything. Like way over at that corner. Yes, that corner's good. Next.
I pick a piece of food out of my sack and eat it.
Eagle is going to fold his arms and ask why he has to turn over his weapons.
It's a new policy, my friend. Everybody around here has to follow it, even your tiefling buddy.
Eagle's going to grumble and growl a little bit, and he's going to take the long sword, short sword, and crossbow and slam them on the table.
Is that everything?
He's going to begrudgingly look at him and say, "Not counting my fist."
I'll take that as a yes. And he's like, "Oh, good, more heavy equipment. Okay." He kind of has to drag the two swords on the ground, stuffs it into a locker. He's like, what is his name?
Eagle.
Ego?
Eagle.
He writes Eagle. He almost writes Ego, but he writes Eagle and actually pronounces your name properly with another spell and locks it shut.
Unlike our dungeon master.
It's like, oh, last but not least, strange tattoo man.
Oh.
he
I
looks
think
to
that's
you.
you,
That was-
Elandria.
Hever.
That's you.
Hever, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello?
I can hardly hear you, so I'm gonna do this.
Alright. Zukov kind of signals over to you and it's like, strange tattoo man. Last but not least, hand over your weapons, please. He taps on his desk.
Strange tattoo man. Oh, jeez. That's insulting.
I think Elandra's going to stare at this short elven person tentatively with her arms crossed.
He just stares back.
What do you want?
I want your weapons. It's a policy. Everyone must follow it here.
I don't have any weapons.
Make me a deception check. Unless you want to... make your case. Do you just say you don't have any weapons, or do you do anything to help your case?
She says she doesn't have any weapons, opens up her cloak, and reveals that she has no weapons.
Make me a deception check.
Perception?
Deception. Oh, do you not
Deception.
actually have any weapons?
No, I don't have any weapons.
Oh, did not know that. Technically, you're supposed to, but that's alright. He's like... Oh,
Yeah, because you're
Let
supposed to
them
have
in
your
the car.
crossbow and your dagger.
Yeah,
Everything
like-
in your character sheet on you.
but that's alright. That helps you out
Yeah.
in this case. And he's like,
Sure.
maybe your agent's more stupid than I thought. Go on. He just like looks back in his book. He's like, oh, Mutok, one more thing. Boss wants to see you in this room. I was going to shoot the new
Okay.
agents around. Well, that's good. Show him later. Can it wait? I'll take that as a no. Alright. And Luxley Cow turns to you all and says, so, apparently, the boss wants to see me at his office. Something about, paying a unnatural amount of funds to release one of my agents. I'm not really quite sure what to do about this. I'm a bit of a pickle here. And you see someone start walking up the stairs, and she says, well, perhaps that's what happens when you bring in people, well, perhaps that's what happens when you bring them in when they aren't supposed to be here. And you see a very classy elfish woman with violet eyes, a long black dress, very fancy leather design, golden gauntlets, and she's supposed to wear glasses. Unfortunately, she is not wearing glasses in that picture, and she kind of just starts walking up, and Luxley kind of turns to her and smiles and says, oh, Cassandra, overly dramatic timing as always. He kind of offers a hand, and she just straight up refuses it. And it's like, so are you going to tell me why you bring in new agents when there wasn't any postings for it, or should I find out the hard way? Well, you know, a good agent never reveals his secrets. And she
When-
kind of grabs his arm and starts twisting it. It's like,
When
all right.
she walks in and Marius first sees her, he kind of gets like a blush on his face and kind of looks down.
Is
Damn,
there
it
something
looks
wrong with your
essential.
face, Master?
No, nothing at all.
Well, it looks awfully red. Perhaps we should see a doctor.
Shh.
What's the condition of the wooden table?
The condition is good, but not quite as good as you'd expect from a highly funded agency. But Jeremy
Does it-
won't know what that means, so it just looks like the equivalent of a tree.
Does
Just
it look like
plastic
it's
ground.
starting to decay at all, or?
It doesn't look particularly decayed. There's a few holes in it, but that seems to be pretty natural.
Can I
Nothing
be
that stands
mending
out.
on it?
You could if you wanted to. Place your hand over it, and the holes on the table begin to fill up, as if there are no holes in the first place.
I said, no, you
I
must
think
let it
we'd
take
all
its
like
course.
to cast a little mending on that.
Ah, eh. And
I-
Cassandra just kind of looks
All
over,
right.
noticing what you're doing, Mario says like, oh, and a house member. That's interesting. I wasn't aware we were allowed to have house members here. Cassandra, we cannot keep those tables empty forever, alright? I just need you to do this for me. Give these agents a chance. See how they fare in the field.
I turn to Marius and I say, no, you have to let it take its course.
Why?
And she just looks over and says, Marius. Marius Stekhanif.
He goes a little more shade of a red.
Son of the patriarch, is that right?
Yes.
And Calv looks back to Luxley and says, perhaps you're onto something after all. Very well. I have no idea how the boss is going to respond, but I suppose a quick tour couldn't hurt. And he kind of lets go of Luxley's grip. He's like, well, charming and bountiful, reliable as always. And he's like, well, unfortunately, I have to go see the boss now, but you'll be in Cassandra's capable hands. She'll be more than excited to just go. Alright, leaving. See you in a bit. He starts like hanging up the stairs. And Cassandra kind of looks to you all, arms behind her back, and kind of begins pacing back and forth as she says, now, if you are to become agents of the Dark Lanterns, there are 3 rules you should keep in mind while poking around our headquarters. There will be no shouting, no fighting, no stealing. Oh, and one more rule I forgot. Do not disturb the director. And she points to this area here, this staircase leading upstairs with a gate in front of it that Luxley kind of has to knock on and have open for him from the inside before going inside. It says, do not disturb the director unless it's bloody important. Most importantly. Are we clear?
Raises his hand and goes,
this isn't grade school. You don't need to raise your hand. Yes.
Kind of blushes again. He's like, I'll try not to steal things. Like, sometimes happens without me really realizing it.
His face is turning red again. This is starting to concern me a fair bit. Very well.
What?
All right.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. Oh, great. Another Warforged. How do you do?
Guan is very curious about Cog.
You begin like walking up and kind of poking it a little bit, and Cog just kind of swats you away nonchalantly.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Heavens, no.
Go on.
Alondra would like to reassure Guan, and it's okay. It's okay. It's not alive anyways.
You are a little bit quiet, Heather.
Oh. Marjani will look at this. Just don't tell him that.
Well,
it's offensive.
I've seen alive, dead, and undead. I'm just curious of its nature.
He's
Magic.
something in between. He's different,
Like a
and he's
zombie.
special.
That's unnatural. That's unnatural.
Sure.
Special.
If
We'll
you're
go with
done
that.
acting like a bunch of morons, we should get on with the tour, shall we? Don't drift far
fine.
behind. And she starts.
Take all the fun out of it. No fighting. Ugh.
And Zukov kind of glares at you, Caleb, but as soon as you look back, he just hides underneath his desk again. Alright, let's run some ambience.
Yay! Oh, that's nice.
So as you head down, you find yourselves in a wide open, passing through some swinging doors, you find yourselves in a wide open, much better condition of hard plankwood floors and cobblestone floors, with dining tables as far as the eye can see. And those with a stronger sense of smell can smell beautiful herbs and spices and hear assorted sounds of dicing and pots cleaning against each other, and warming, soothing sounds of what seems like the kitchen. It smells absolutely delicious as soon as your feet reach this entire dining room. And Guan Myler, I'd like you to make a perception check for me, please.
Yeah, of course. Let me get here. Okay.
Nonchalant SWAT team, thank you for the lovely comments as always, Devin.
Oh, that didn't come in, did it? All right,
No,
hold
it did
on.
not come through. There we go.
There we go.
There's a moisturized smell that you haven't smelled in quite some time. The smell of the glorious shiitake mushrooms coming from the kitchen.
I head
back
right
in-
there. I make a beeline. To the...
And she's like, now, here we have the... Oh, for goodness sake. And you should be able to find your tokens on the south end, so you can move appropriately. She's like, wait, where do you think you're going?
I'll bring it back.
And where specifically?
1 second.
Sure.
I can't really see your mouth there, Jeremy. Might want to raise the cam up a little bit or just back up a bit. There you go. That's better. Thank you.
no problem.
And she says, this is the dining room that you will come to eat as much as you'd like. You can bring in your own food. And she just kind of like hurries to the kitchen. And you see Guanmila as you enter a lovely little kitchen space with white tile floors, a huge fireplace oven, and assorted cooking equipment and garlics and herbs. Well, you see a white dragonborn with a huge pack and a saw cleaver just chopping away at meat, just seemingly unaware of your presence. And you also see a red dragonborn that seems to be a lot more vocal, with the kind of chef's outfit, red and emerald scales, and kind of has a frying pan in his hand. He is not carrying an axe, unfortunately. And he's just kind of swatting at you with the axe. It's like, oh, alright, I don't know how you got in here, you little bastard, but get it. Cassandra, huh? Yeah, sure. Everybody just walk into my kitchen at once here. What's even going on here?
Leave Guan alone.
Oh, yeah, see, entered my kitchen. They began nibbling at my mushrooms. It's like, alright, just everybody calm down for a second
he can't
here.
help himself. It's mushrooms.
I'm reaching into my pack and like putting different mushrooms together to pair it with the shiitake.
No, you can't just. He begins like grabbing at your mushrooms, so you kind of like have a little tug, and he's like, "Mr. Guanmila!" Like an angry teacher, Cassandra just yells, and even the chefs kind of stop what they're doing and turn around nervously, even though they're tall, jack dragonborn. And she's like, "What's the first rule, Mr. Guanmila?"
Oh, I don't even remember. Don't
not
touch.
steal. And she swipes the mushrooms away from you and passes it back to the chef.
As she says that, Marius kind of like feels around in his pockets just to make certain that he hasn't unconsciously picked something up along the way.
Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw, Marius.
Uh-oh.
I
These
will
mushrooms
note
are
that,
for everyone.
Egil will have taken a few ingredients from off like the kitchen
21!
counter.
Are you doing that sneakily by any chance?
Well, I did it before she said "do not steal," and then when she said "do not steal," he just spits it out.
No, Marius, you're good. And he's like, alright, out of the kitchen, out. I don't even know who you bastards are. I don't care, out. And he begins like trying to like do the hand gesture of just like shoo to get you all out of the kitchen.
I try to grab my mushrooms and put them back in my sack before.
Alright, fine, have the dead mushrooms, but you're paying for that.
Caleb kind of just sits down at this bench here and says, "What does a guy got to do to get a flagon of meat and some meat around here?"
5 silver pieces!
I held my hand
Okay.
out.
No, we are not serving right now, alright? It's the evening, you're doing prep work right now. Everybody just relax for a few moments, alright?
But I'm hungry!
I reach out my hand to
sure
Caleb
you
with some
are.
mushrooms in it to offer a snack.
I gladly take the mushrooms and
See, Cassandra just
I will.
sighs and
Marjani
says,
will. Sorry.
this is supposed to be the kitchen, where you can pay, not just nonchalantly grab whenever you feel like it. You can pay to have food served to you. Understood? Within only certain hours of the day. And no, the chef does not like it when people barge in. You're damn right I don't! Sorry, Marjani, you were saying? I totally interrupted you.
Yeah, Marjani was basically just gonna offer Caleb some of her food as well, because she has rations. Meat.
He just after he shares some rations, so he's like,
Yeah.
normally there isn't any food until the tour is
Caleb
done, but...
gladly takes the rations and just eats. Just
could you make it a little less messy at least, as like food begins like trickling to the ground and gets stuck in your beard?
mid bite, he just kind of goes and kind of just flicks the excess off towards her and just.
Oh, we are going to have our handfuls with you all, alright? Now then, if you're done acting like a bunch of daft gits, and you notice Cog raises his hand, and he's like, She just ignores him. Begins walking over here. Passing through the door over here.
10 out of 10 sound effects, love it.
Alright, and here you have our gaming rooms where on your free time, and only free time if I may add, you are welcome to play. We have poker tables set up, backgammon, cards.
Did you say poker?
We do, and she opens up the door, and you see a half-elf fellow with short brown hair and a luxurious black coat, playing cards with a human fellow with the most amazing mustache and a black, almost looks like a noble outfit, and the third player being a very lovely woman with short blonde hair, kind of like those high strap boots, and a lovely black lace dress. They're all playing cards, and Cassandra just says, "Oh, don't you three ever take a break?" And the half-elf says, "Oh, we took a break about half an hour ago." "And which break is it?" "Our third, second break." "Well, I better not find you playing cards when you get back." "Aye, can't count on that, lass." And she just closes the door and sighs. Moving on.
When do we get to gamble?
Technically, on your free time, you're allowed to gamble. And she looks very angered, but is clearly like holding it back, keeping her hands behind her back. Just
Eagle
says,
fucking loves gambling.
"Now then, we still have a couple more floors to go." And she starts heading in this direction.
I have to mute my mic. It's my daughter.
Oh.
Sure, you could
alright.
trick Guan into gambling. He might not even know what he's doing, but
Just you just begin eating the curds. All right. I'm assuming you all head down, or is there anything you'd like to do while you're up here?
sniffing around, you know.
I'm done making a fool of myself.
You just
Let's
kind
head
of
downstairs.
it smells like fresh wood, and the table sound suspiciously of what almost sounds like a alcoholic substance and urination with a bit of food. You have a very strong sense of smell, and you can smell things that most humanoids wouldn't be able to smell. So even though the tables look clean, they don't exactly smell that way to you.
It's very bland compared to what I'm used to.
Next floor. Now, on the next floor, the design gets more and more intricate and fascinating as now you head towards a pure stone floors with what almost appears to be like pathways marked in yellow leading in two different directions, and a front desk that is currently full with two gnomish women just kind of arguing at each other about nothing, including two large doors with blue light emanating from within. You can hear sorted sounds of paperwork and yelling and stomping coming from the room up ahead. As Cassandra says, "Now then, this is where most of our wonderful work takes place."
It's not showing me on that floor.
We're just.
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yes.
I
Oh,
can
sorry
still
about that.
see
Yep,
the-
there you go.
Okay.
Fixed.
That's better. That's better.
And she
Okay.
starts heading forward.
Ooh, I like this.
I like
Kinda reminds me
lighting
of
in here.
Bioshock.
Why
Yeah.
is the light in here like eyes of my own?
I don't know.
You doing you? Is that a new
Oh, because
model?
it's light bulbs.
Yes,
Light
I made him
bulbs.
earlier today.
Oh, okay, that explains the problem questions. Now then, and she swings open doors, and you see a beautiful room with a huge blue chandelier on the rooftop and assorted stone, almost looks like ancient stone desks with all sorts of gnomes and halflings kind of just drawing paperwork and sorting through paperwork and stuffing paperwork into huge files and just stacking it away in different cabinets and desks that go about as far as the eye can see, with tons of bookshelves as well. Just going through all sorts of information as you see two humans about the same size and age. One of them is kind of brown-haired, short beard, while the other is a very plucky-looking woman with long blonde hair, carrying like a bunch of paperwork in her right arm and kind of tossing around a coin in her other as they're kind of bickering at each other. As the brother says, says, "No, alright, we need to focus on sifting through the paperwork right now. Well, if we don't sift through the novels, they're never gonna get done. Well, if we don't sift through the paperwork, then the boss is gonna have my ass. The director won't have your ass if he never ever comes out of his office. Well, that just makes me afraid of the one time he does." And Cassandra just coughs, and everyone kind of looks to notice all of you. And Cassandra says, "I regret to announce that these are new agents." And you are met with no applause, just awkward silence.
Don't everybody clap at once.
And they kind of like nervously golf clap and go back to work, and the brother and sister approach. The brother looking a bit confused while the sister looks incredibly excited as she's like, "Oh, it's a pleasure to meet all of you at last. It's been a while since we had some new agents around here." "Well, yeah, but we weren't exactly pointing a boat." "Oh, come on, you're spoiling all the fun. Now these are these two are twins, believe it or not. Hey, we're here. We can introduce ourselves, wherever our names are in this damn list of characters." Excuse me 1 second. No, where is it? Oh. And the man says, "I suppose I'll introduce myself. I'm Arthur. I'm Nancy. And we run all of the paperwork here. All of the files, all of the books. Any paperwork you need to get by, we handle it here." Hey, you see, hey, we need to get through the Hey, there's plenty of fun to be had in paperwork, and you have to get through the boring stuff to get to the good stuff, alright? That's how I always look at it. Oh, you might as well try and enjoy it at this point. Now, whenever you do missions on the field, you'll always come to them either looking for new work or to close paperwork. And I do expect paperwork to be done properly, unlike last time, Arthur. Alright, we don't always have time to make the... And she just kind of glares at me. It's like, "Service with a smile, mistress." And
the papers.
his sister kind of chuckles. And she's like, "What is this? Is that a shifter by any chance?" "So he's not like any shifter I've ever seen. Why is he just sniffing the ground like that?"
And are they holding the papers with them?
The girl on the right is. While the other workers are definitely dealing with assorted paperwork and files and books.
Does that have musty paper smell?
Yeah, very musty paper smell. You can smell like what... You don't know what ink is, and I'm not sure how to describe it, but you kind of get that scent into your nostrils as well.
Yeah, I've had like dyed mushrooms and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. There's like...
Okay, well, we'd hate to keep you busy. No, come on, I still have plenty of questions. Well, we can question later, sister. We got a lot of work to do. And he kind of, like, brushes her aside. It's like, and she says, "Thank you all very much. And, by the way, love the tattoos," pointing at you, Alandra. And as they kind of, like, rush off and head back to work.
Ooh.
And Cassandra, for the first time, being distracted by Guanmila and his silly antics, kind of glazes over at you, Eggle. It's like, my goodness, what happened to your head? What happened to your arm? Do we need to take you to the doctor?
Nathan.
Eggle?
Sorry, audio.
That's
No.
okay.
Stop staring.
Well then, she tries not to stare, but can't help but glance every now and again. It's like, well, he's...
Eagle's
Look, so he knows how to find the good ones.
Eagle's gonna take his arm off and then put it back on again.
She, like, tries not to vomit as you're getting, like, the side glances from the other workers as you do so. And she's like, "Wow, that's really fascinating. How do you do that with your... yeah, come on." And she's like, "No. I want to know how you do that with your arm. I've been fascinated by the world of magic for years. Can't hold me back from that forever."
Blood rituals.
"I regret asking." And she heads back to work. And the brother's kind of like, "What's wrong with you, man?" And it just heads back. And Cassandra says, "Blood magic. So... not only do we have a nincompoop house member, a robot that asks too many questions, a man that has horrible eating habits, and a man with a Lego phone arm.
Did she call me a
We have a
nincompoop?
blood magic. Yeah,
Do
yes, she
Legos
did.
exist?
Excuse me.
Fantastic. Oh,
I
yeah.
eat food just fine, thank you very much.
Yes, while making a horrible mess of in the process, and please clean your beard at some point.
Just say I used.
How could you call me a
magic.
nincompoop? I made him. Takes a lot of
You
work to
are
be able to do that.
nincompoop.
No, I
not.
didn't call you the nincompoop. I called you the house member. I didn't mean any disrespect, Stekhanif. It's been an awful lot of work around here, especially considering, well, that's a story for another time. Could we please just move on?
Mhm.
And she starts heading in this direction. While the yard workers are kind of glancing back and forth between their work at this point, kind of noticing you guys. And the brother is pretending to ignore you, but the sister is, yeah, kind of awkwardly staring. Now then.
So
Where
what now?
to
Do we file paperwork?
No, you will file paperwork when a mission is brought to your desk and after you've completed said missions, but it'll take a while before we even get to that. Don't you worry. There will be plenty of paperwork when you'll be working here.
So what do we do now?
Well, I think it's time to take you to the quartermaster.
I like the sound of that.
As you head down a very long corridor, you begin hearing strange noises off in the distance, like assorted metals whirling, and almost what sounds like fires off in the distance as you enter a luxurious, like, cobblestone floor with huge chandeliers going as far as the eye can see, and what almost seems to be like some kind of, like, sickly laboratory with a bronze telescope off to the south, along with like a bronze world map of Eberron. Yes, Eberron, I can think today. And tables full of assorted cogs, gears, potions, textbooks. And to your left, you notice like a strange fish-like creature, large fish-like creature. It almost looks like the mix of a shark and a killer whale. Just kind of surprisingly nonchalantly hanging out in a vat of green, sickly water. As
Can I
you
do a knowledge nature about it?
yeah, go ahead and make me a nature check for that.
Yeah, I also would like to do that.
I'm gonna jump in on
Alright.
this as well. I've got good nature affinity.
Yeah, I figure
Like-
why not? I don't want to be the only one not doing a nature
This thing
check.
looks cool, bro.
Kind of want to try too.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll join the
So
club.
17 is the leading roll with Mike and I rolling the
Alright.
same.
The druid got a bad nature check.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time I could say
Bare
that.
minimum, unless
Okay.
Ella can do any better. 15.
8 Ella. So Ella, surprisingly Egel, and surprisingly Caleb, and Marius, you all know that this creature in the water is actually a hybrid creature. It's not natural by any means, as you can see like stitches kind of spliced onto it in the center, and the creature kind of like, it doesn't look like it's waving its fin around naturally, so instead of being a brand new species, you get the impression that this is a hybrid, likely between a killer whale and a shark, as you kind of see on the main pedestal with a like golden runic symbols, two people standing in front of it, a dwarfish man with a blonde beard and a plucky green coat, kind of yelling at what appears to be another warforged, or it's you, Egel, another man in heavy armor. Lots of people wearing heavy armor in this city. It's really weird. Kind of like nice black coats, red eyes, goggles on his forehead, assorted tools on his bag, and he's kind of you see, like, by his side, what could almost be described as a turret with spider legs, just with a turret in the center and 4, like, little spider legs, kind of spindling around in the cobblestone, and they're just going at it. It's like, I told you, you need to put more ingredients into the runic symbol. Hang on.
Well, if I could afford more ingredients for the runic symbol, I'd be happy to do so. But since I can't, and the agency keeps shoving up budgets around, you can fuck off.
And he gives him like the jog-on symbol, like he swears with 2 fingers up in the air. And he's like, well, you gotta find other ways to get us new supplies then.
Well, unless you can pull money out of your ass, I can't see any way we could do so.
Oh, can't you now? Quartermaster, I'd like to introduce you to our new agents. I regret to say. And he just like drops his like assorted tools on the ground and looks at Marius wide-eyed. He's like, bless my stars. Is that Charlie? Do you know who that is?
I guess I'm gonna find out.
No, that's not how this works, Charlie.
Oh, come on, don't make me do the bit.
I'll make you do the bit. Come on.
Who is it?
That is Marius Stekhanif. And he just begins rushing over and like hops up to shake your hand with both hands, Marius. And he's like, I'm the quartermaster here. More than happy to meet you, Marius Stekhanif. I've been a huge fan of your father's work for generations.
Oh, my father. Yes.
What brings you here? Sorry, I'm in a bit of a rough state, and your hand is kind of smothered in wrench grease and sweat as you kind of loosely take your hand away from his sweaty palms. And
Well, I'm now employed here as one of the Dark Lanterns.
Oh, is that right now? Well, I guess we could use someone like you around here, especially if worst comes to worst with your house. No offense. Everyone, this is Rector. That over there is his assistant, Tim. And you see, like, the spider turret just kind of begin, like, nonchalantly climbing up the walls. It's like, Tim! I told you to keep that spider turret on the ground!
You fucked up, Tim.
You done
Tim, oh, Tim, no.
Oh.
What's it?
And he's like, oh, it seems they've built a warforged of their own.
A Warforged? Yes, that's right. Oh, I see, it's a fresh model. That's alright,
Yep.
I had a brother just like you once. How you do?
I made him this morning.
How does one do exactly? Oh, he is a really fresh model, isn't he?
Yep.
It means Marjani will look at him and basically be like, he wants to know, how are you feeling?
Oh! I feel nothing. As I am a construct.
I have
It's
no
like,
feelings
close
too.
enough, you're learning.
And Tim just whispers to Rector,
Please don't tell me I was locked up when I was a fresh model.
aye, you were. Pointless pondering questions and all.
Oh, at least I'm good for something around these parts. Oi! Oi! Oh there! Heads up the merchandise! This is a fucking amusement park!
It's like, hey, come on. Let's relax around our new friends. She was just curious.
I'm looking at all the bones in the corner.
There's a
I
bone
was
corner?
looking out of the telescope because curiosity.
So you look through the telescope and you see, you kind of realize all of you are not, there isn't really a roof over your heads, as they were more so kind of in a cave in a wide open-ended dark space as far as the eye can see. Those without dark vision can see within like the structure's confines, but outside into the depths of the caves you can't see anything without dark vision. Even those who can, you can only see so far before it just turns to utter blackness again. And that's kind of what
I
the
have
telescope...
dark vision.
Oh,
Yes.
I have
You
dark
said-
That's
vision.
kind of what the telescope reveals to you as well. And you can see like the occasional bat just kind of hanging up in the cave ceilings, but that's about it.
My
We're
brethren.
yells-
just in a deep, deep dark.
I also
cave.
have dark vision.
Yes.
When he yells
Dark
about the hands-off
I have
part,
dark
Marius again
I have
will
a
check his
special
pockets
type
and
of
make
dark
certain he
vision.
didn't accidentally pocket something.
That's right. But even with the dark vision, you can only see so far into the cave before it just turns to black again.
Which is normal.
Even
Nice.
with magical dark vision.
Yes, even with
That's
magical
always
I
dark
have
vision.
60
Okay.
feet of dark vision.
Even
That's
if
good
you
to know.
only have 60 feet is only basically like, I assume pretty much the width of the chamber, so
And yeah,
What
Gron Myla,
about
you kind of start playing around with the bones a
300 feet?
little bit, and it almost seems like assorted different bones. Like there's not just humanoid bones here, In fact, make a medicine check for me, please.
When they said-
This will be good. Hopefully.
When they said hands off, the first thing that Marius does is he checks his pockets again.
Big
Oh, Lord.
money.
Oh god.
Big
No, he takes
money.
the roll on the left, unfortunately.
Ah.
So-
because you are rolling with initiative.
Yeah.
You can tell that not all of these bones are humanoid, but you've been locked away for quite some time, so you don't even know what kind of creatures line this new world, and you can't tell what other kinds of bones you see within these parts.
Can I grab one for later to kind of just, you know?
Would you
Study
like
it.
to do so sneakily?
Sure, yeah. Let's give it a shot.
Give me a stealth
Can
check.
I roll nature to help Guamila?
Yeah, you can assist him actually, so in that case, you roll with advantage, so you do take the 25, and you can tell
Okay.
that these bones, there's a sort of different bones of different fishes. In fact, it's mostly bones of sea animals, strangely
Hmm.
enough. Sharks, fish, killer whales. This man seems unhealthily obsessed with aquatic life for some reason that you're not quite sure of. And you also notice, alarmingly, there are a few humanoid bones as well, specifically those tied to that of a tiefling.
These seem like they're prime for, you know, some sort of mold development. So I'm inclined to flower these remains with some starter cultures, you know.
Yeah, and go ahead and please.
I would like to distract him.
Go on. How would you? Are you distracting this fellow or Richter? Because they're both kind of looking in your direction right now.
Actually, I'd like to ask them both a question about the creature over here in this container.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Sure.
Gotta start my mushroom farm again.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Just nothing but shrooms.
Mm.
Team. Ooh.
That is good enough to get the attention of Richter, as he's just like, well, this poor creature, well, let's just say I found him like this within, he kind of leans in and he says, I found this creature within house. God, what are the house? I am not. Sorry, I have 2 monitors up for the first time, so I'm still getting used to this. So bear with
No
me
worries.
here as I pull up
Okay.
some information
John.
here.
Don't be slacking too much now.
However, you do not get the attention of Tim as he's just staring at
Uh-oh.
Guanmila.
What check am I doing?
Make me a stealth check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Stealth or sleight of hand?
They're the same
Actually,
for me.
yeah, sleight of hand. Even though it's
Alright.
the same.
No whammies. All right.
13.
18. Okay, so you
13.
13.
13.
He's gonna make a perception check.
Okay.
Go.
Look at my mushrooms.
Hey.
You see that he's kind of distracted with his own turret bot that's kind of like on the top of the cave rooftop. And he's just like, "Oi, we've get over this. Get down. I gotta get the damn remote again, boss." And you nonchalantly are able to just stuff a few of these bones into your bag.
Cool. Do I sprinkle my spores on the bones as well?
Yes, you do.
All
You
right.
what she
sprinkle.
said.
You kind of like take some of your
Okay.
mushrooms, crush them together into like a fine dust, and sprinkle that
Mm.
over
Beautiful.
the dust.
Grow my children.
Oh no,
That's what she
please!
said.
I don't need that image.
Marjani will look at this rune thing in the middle, and she would ask Tim, excuse me, what is this thing and why is it glowing?
Aye,
That's what she
that is a teleportation circle. We're working to make our very own without the use of spell slots. We've told you to ditch this project years ago. Aye, you did. But you should know, a dwarf's as stubborn as a mule. And once this thing is finished, we can travel just about anywhere in the city. Without the need of a spellcaster.
Eagle's gonna say, so I probably shouldn't be standing in the middle of this thing, should I?
I wouldn't recommend it. You're more than welcome to try.
He looks at him and it
Marius.
says, spellcaster?
spellcast.
Marius.
And it's like, well, without the need of any outside sources, there's such a thing as you've probably heard the teleportation circle.
Yes, everybody's heard of the teleportation circle. You don't need to go on your rant again.
It's like, oi! Are you gonna keep talking? You're gonna keep getting that, spider thing down, or whatever you call it. His name's Reggie! Aye. Yes, so
Reggie.
without the need of a spellcaster, that means this will just be our free teleportation device. Oh, we could talk about that later. And by the way, the house I was mentioning earlier was House Galanda. And he says, gotta keep this. I found this bugger from House Galanda. They've been working on some weird experiments there, but nobody else in the city will listen to us. So, keep this
I
poor
listen.
creature here.
It's not shocking.
So,
Poor thing.
this teleportation circle you're talking about,
Aye, it's not yet
You-
finished,
you,
unfortunately.
you do know
Please step
that
into
if
it.
you have a caster who can just cast it daily for a year, it'll be a permanent circle, right?
He just pauses. He's like,
Wah, wah.
I never even thought about that. And he just like
He won
rushes
my
over to his
respect for
desk and
that.
begins like writing that down. It's like, oh, that's good advice, thank you. And Tim's like,
Ah, finally, we can put a budget towards something useful next time. Alright, come on.
and the spider turret finally comes down to the ground, kind of looking at you, Guanmila, as you're backing away from the desk and kind of like pokes you a little bit with its head.
I cock my head to try to see it, to understand like what the hell it is.
It looks like a steel log on top of a pair of legs, and you're not entirely sure how such a thing is possible, as this warm red glow is coming from inside its circular design.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that is, you know? I've just never
And-
seen anything like that before.
And Cassandra says, "Oh, great, so that whole project was a waste of time then. We'll talk about this later. Come on. There's more to do, more to discuss."
My entire existence has been rocked to the core.
You see him, like, seemingly excitedly writing the notes down while also a tear is just running down his cheek.
I love it.
It's like,
Alright, sorry, I seem like a bit of a prick back there, but, have a good one. Oh, alright, settle down.
and he kind of, like, begins modifying his turret with a wrench. And just begins work on it. I'm assuming you all head out?
There's nothing else for us to
Yeah.
do, so pretty much.
Marius will follow her.
All
I
right.
have to let the mushrooms cultivate, so I'll give them.
Ooh.
Well, I
Just
will
let him
roll
do
to see if he
something.
finds out about that.
On
What's next?
What is this unnatural place?
So,
Ooh,
on
this
the
is-
other end of the
There's the
hallway that you
sleeping
came down
quarters.
from, you see like gorgeous. This whole building is a strange mishmash of different designs, almost like the owners of these spaces had their own say in whatever goes into making these, with beautiful tile floors and a red carpet leading to a kind of a wooden front door.
Do I get one?
There's weird feng shui in here.
And she kind of turns to you and says, "Oh, if you all manage to prove yourselves here and serve as high-quality agents, then I see no problem in arranging your own quarters. But for now, you'll have to stay where the rest of the agents stay, I'm afraid."
Who's this guy at the bottom here?
Are those
On-
not
You'll see.
quarters?
Guan's like horrified at the idea of having to stay in an area like this.
And Cassandra knocks on the door. "Doctor, you have some new visitors." "Doctor?"
Oh, we get to stay with the doctor. Nice.
Normally,
I love
this
doctor.
normally she answers the door right away, and she opens up. And those with higher passive perception, so Marius and
The bat.
Guanmila, the Batman. So Batman and Marius, you'd hear like the sounds of like a hacksaw and like little splurts kind of coming from the back, and Cassandra's just like, "Oh, good. Doctor's busy. Wonderful timing." And you see bursting through the door is this strange little device. yet another Warforged. This time with a lovely little top hat, kind of like lace dress with like rough metal, almost like shoulder plates over her sides, with a book just dangling on her side. And you see her just come out with blood just slathered on her dress, and a hacksaw just drenched in blood. And she kind of, it kind of steps in and says,
"Ah, yes. I thought I could smell new arrivals here. Oh, pardon the mess."
And you see her just walk over to like a nearby sink and begin washing her
hacksaw, and she says, "And whom do I have the pleasure of meeting this fine evening?"
These are going to be our new agents. Agents, this is Dr. Valandria. Agents. Is this a bad time?
No, of course not. It is never a bad time for one such as I.
And she, as she finishes cleaning up, doing a kind of a piss poor job, but good enough, she kind of looks over and says,
"What is this?"
and rushes over to you, Guanmila, and just without even asking begins like grabbing your jaw and just like shoving it open to take a look inside. And she's like,
"Remarkable. I haven't seen a shifter with these kind of teeth in a humanoid form before."
And she just kind of slams it shut. Is like,
"And bat ears too. It makes me imagine what awaits for us in its true form."
Hector's gonna say, so. Oh, sorry. Eagle is gonna say, so this is a doctor.
Yeah, and she knows it's you and just shoves through ever, and it kind of like picks up your bone arm and is like,
"What is this? A bone arm, a dislocated bone arm with a bleeding or hemorrhaging or any other side effects. It must be a blood hunter, and a tiefling blood hunter, and that's like a unicorn riding another unicorn."
And she
Can
says,
I make an
Jesus.
Arcana check on that name, the Blood Hunter thing?
"Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Anybody who's interested in that, please feel free to make an Arcana check."
Oh, this will be funny.
Can I Arcana check myself, or?
Does Eagle even know?
Oh my god.
Rolling normal rolls. Make sure you're
Yeah.
at your advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, Guanmila, you got dirty 20 on that.
I did.
Yeah, you take the
I
first
did.
roll of that. So
I got a natural 20.
natural 20. Mike
Nice.
got a natural 20.
Mike, actually, yeah. Holy shit.
Fuck it, I might
So
as well.
the three of you, more specifically Marius, Guanmila, and Elandra, you all know exactly what a blood hunter is, and blood hunters are typically forbidden in the worlds of Eberron, or at least frowned down upon, because instead of relying on, say, a deity or the natural order of things or their own innate spellcasting abilities or spellcast abilities for books, they get their abilities through blood magic, and blood magic is incredibly frowned upon, as often seen as satanic and linked with the devil. And the arm is clearly a result of blood magic just withering away at his skin over the years.
Okay, so I don't know that, so that's good.
Yeah, so Marjani, you've never heard of a blood hunter before. Sounds kind of cool.
Okay.
Caleb
ask.
doesn't fully trust magic, and all this magic is kind of just put him on edge. He's just kind of
You're just torching your eye.
not necessarily like touching everything. It's just like,
Landra's blood just ran cold, and the flames in her hair died down, and it just looks like a burnt orange now, flat.
Marius
My
gives a little
goodness,
bit of a
no,
gasp,
my
and then like
goodness.
does his best to kind of hide it.
My goodness, the flames in your hair have worn out. This could be a sign of maturity or puberty, but if you're past that certain age group, I'd be a little more alarmed. I have pills that can help with this issue.
Cassandra says, sorry, doctor, but, they're not actually here for an inspection. I'm just giving them a tour.
Oh!
And she kind of steps back.
So, this is just a visit.
Yes, just a visit, nothing more.
Oh,
Marius waves to her.
I see.
And she very awkwardly waves back. and head down, just heads back to her desk.
I waved back to her. I didn't know she was waving at me.
She wasn't, but she appreciates it anyways. It's like,
Feel free to come by anytime to be in need or for a bountiful discussion that I believe humanoids love to indulge themselves in. Until then, I have much to do. My apologies.
and she just heads back, and the sound of hacking continues.
That was the weirdest sound of hacking I've ever heard.
Yeah,
No.
that's what it sounds every time she
That's
turns it on.
That's a disgusting noise for a bone
Cassandra
to make.
says, "I apologize
That's
for that."
when you know you've hit the sweet spot of it. It's
It's like
That's when he knew he went to the wrong doctor.
It's the reset button.
when your doctor starts beeping, it's time to find a new
operation sounds like.
Game over. Would you like to try again?
Cassandra, looking a little bit embarrassed, just says, "I apologize for that. The doctor's a little bit exotic, but when it comes to helping out others, she works in a jiffy."
See, Cog?
Now
You can
then,
have almost any personality that you want when it comes to it. Once you
Please
learn
do
more
not.
about the world.
Marjana, we'll turn around. Please,
Please,
don't
Cog,
take that.
don't turn out like that.
There are
I
better
could be
personalities.
anything I want to be.
You can.
Yes, accept that.
Does-
Don't be
I
that.
can-
Don't.
I can
do
always
that.
modify you too if you decided
Th-
you
does
wanted to
that
learn
mean I can-
magic.
Does that mean I can take mushrooms? Like a strange, skinny friend over there.
no,
I
that does
reached
not
my
mean
hand out. I
No.
reached my hand out with my mushrooms in it. So.
Oh,
I mean-
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
and he
It's a
just
great
kind of
idea.
takes the
Yes.
mushrooms and like crushes it because it's a warforged. He doesn't really know what to do with it. You just twitch a little bit, knowing that he destroyed some of your babies.
Sprinkle that on that couch over there.
Of course,
Sand.
of course.
And Cassandra's like, no, the next
No,
person
no, no, no.
to.
Oh, it's fucking true.
He just
Yeah.
sprinkles it over
Marjana
the
will
couch,
go
and she's.
and be like, no, that's mean. Come on, let's
But
go
my
back.
my master said it was so it must be so.
I smile.
didn't
I
say it.
smile like
Morris didn't
approvingly.
say that. Come on, buddy.
This
Now.
one is confused.
And he stopped. You can
Now?
call me he. He stops and
Yes.
walks over, and Cassandra says, "Alright, the next person to make a mess out of our lovely abode can spend the next few weeks with desk duty, and we'll see how much you enjoy paperwork then. Sound understood?"
Tokiko.
Oh, it's still. Oh, I may not have put it there. That's alright. We get
Huh.
the drift.
Okay, sorry.
Cassandra says, "Now, I suppose there's nothing left to do. It's getting pretty late. Why don't I show you to your sleeping quarters? Follow me."
Sounds great.
She says while keeping an eye on Guanmila and the cog.
Hmm.
His cog just... Leonardo DiCaprio walks off the room, not realizing he did something wrong.
Am I Cog's patron now?
You are his god.
If only.
The
Yeah.
mushroom god.
If only.
I was thinking that Guan is gonna try to start
Last-
building a
but-
warforged out of mushrooms.
Just his own... out of, like, bark and
Yep.
mushrooms and flowers.
Yeah.
I was imagining it like made of like scrap wire and like cogs. It just looks like welded junk.
Yeah.
Like a giant mushroom club.
As you descend the staircase once more, you find yourselves in a pretty dank-looking cellar.
Oh, this is
With
great.
torches just kind of floating in the air, seemingly lit by magical essence, as she kind of guides you into what appears to be a layout of precisely 6 beds. And the beds already, despite the dingy, smelly, musty space around you, Guanmila, it kind of smells like there's
Home.
been some serious water damage around these parts. You can smell some moisture to the 10th degree, and you know a thing or two about moisture with your time with mushrooms. She kind of points you towards 6 surprisingly neatly organized beds with the blankets made, the pillows fluffed, and a chest laid beside each bed. And she says, "Now then, it's been a long day, Certainly has been for me. So I suggest you all get a very good rest. You have a busy day tomorrow.
Cassandra,
Marius
is there a
runs over to the
shower
bed,
here?
jumps on it, and goes, "Dibs on this bed."
Where does this one sleep?
Oh,
Does Cog need to
I
sleep?
guess this is your
I don't
first
think
time,
so.
actually. This is your first day in existence.
Yeah.
Cog, you don't actually need to sleep. What you do is you
I
stand
don't?
still. No, you stand still and you go into a mode where you basically recuperate for the day. It's like a standby mode.
I see. Okay. Then I shall keep watch for all of you while I watch you all sleep.
Exactly.
This one understands.
It would probably be best if you were to stand right over here.
Yeah.
That way you can see out and see all of us. Actually, I think I'll take this bed then. Make it easier.
Cassandra just says, "No, I'll leave all of you to rest. As I said, please do not steal anything, and please don't lollygag about in the middle of the night."
As soon as she says it again, Marius feels around at his pockets.
Yeah, I think Elandria's trying to say. Who's going to ask something?
Yes, yes.
There's a shower.
And she kind of points in there and says, there are a couple of bathtubs in there, along with a shower. If you need to clean yourself,
Hot water?
please, for the love of God, convince your new friend, and points to Guantmila, to take a bath.
Where's Guanmila?
About as hot
So-
as about as hot as cave water can be.
So I want to find a nice moist corner.
Please roll an investigation check to
Okay.
Sleep in a
find
bathtub.
to find a moist corner. And she just shakes her head and walks off.
Marius is also going to go and get ready to have a good bath.
Oh.
Whoa, at the same time, dude, give her some privacy.
Oh, are we?
Oh.
We don't-
finding
we don't-
out that
Gentlemen,
Alondra's a
One,
woman
we don't know
today.
that. We don't know that she is.
No,
she.
yeah,
We
you
think
don't know
she is
that.
he.
Oh, forgive me for
Yeah,
assuming
you
I am
don't.
sorry.
So
So-
you
Alonso looks
see,
like a man.
so Marius, you kind of walk in and see Alon start to begin to derobe.
All right. He goes over and he starts getting his water ready in the tub and everything else, and he starts disrobing himself. He tells Cog to wait at the
Yeah,
bed.
you notice that Marius begins to derobe, and you can see his ass as he begins to step into his bathtub, as it's just risen to just the right amount. You grew up in a fancy household. You know how like a bath works. You get it at just the right temperature, just the right level. It's a little bit on the cold side, but it's also kind of strikes that nice balance of lukewarm that you're looking for after a nice long day.
And just so you know, Marius is very athletically built, although more swimmer's build than body build.
He's got a Michael Phelps build.
Yeah.
He's got a Michael Phelps build.
Bagel
just-
needs to find
Ilana's
somewhere to
built
pee.
like a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, just very skinny. Yeah.
Well, he's built like a 16-year-old boy, so
Yeah,
it's all
you're,
good.
you're not an absolute unit,
Ew.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
Alon,
we don't need
noticing that Marius has nonchalantly stepped into the bathroom and derobed and entered a bath, do you proceed the same way?
No,
No. All right. Good.
He's not even paying
She
attention to you.
waits.
He's having his bath.
she waits outside.
Good move.
Do I find a good corner?
Yes, you find. In fact, the corner that you're in
Oh,
is
perfect.
about as moist as a corner can be. You can even see a bit of water damage just pouring through, kind of pouring through from the other side, and you're just like, "This is perfect." It is just wet and cold and moist to the touch, and you just lay your head against it like Ripley at the end of Alien Resurrection.
Oh,
When she
yeah.
lies her head against the alien, just closing your eyes.
The peak of luxury.
And the rest
When-
of, yeah, go on.
And
Yeah,
then
I was-
Elia was about to leave. Ella would be like, "El, you don't have to be shy. We're all guys here." Get scrubbing away.
I was here first.
Marshani.
Thank you.
There's plenty of tubs.
I wasn't.
Alright, hold on, my mom's calling.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Well,
Alright.
we'll just assume
Diego's gonna
Alon
find
takes a
somewhere
bath.
to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alon taking
Yeah.
a bath.
Yeah, we'll assume Alon takes a bath when Marius is finished with his bath. And Marius, you feel very clean and refreshed, but you're basically used to taking a bath every day at your household, so
Yep.
it's not like you desperately needed it compared to some of your other compatriots. And you kind of pass by and see Guanmala just lying its head with one of its freaky ears kind of pinned against the wall.
Yeah. Sleeping bad, you know.
You can feel
I'm
free
just
to use...
waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll assume both of you guys take some nice baths, and it's lukewarm, but especially for you, Marjani, since you've been on foot for quite some time, it is wonderfully comforting. Your bones
Oh.
finally feel rested. You kind of stretch your arms about, which you haven't been able to do in a while, as you've just been so busy ever since you arrived in the city, and it's almost hard for you to get out, but eventually you kind of push yourself and motivate yourself to step out of the
Can I
tub.
see if I actually fall asleep? Because I've just been wandering these mountains for a while.
Fair enough. Please make me wisdom.
Constitution, yes.
Yeah, Constitution saving throw.
I was trying to stay awake. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Constitution saving throw. 12. I'd say that's just.
Roll one yourself.
Oh, okay. I'll make a competitive roll.
Oh yeah.
You are. It's very relaxing and comforting, but you kind of slap yourself awake at the last minute before you eventually drift off and motivate yourself to step out of the tub and tediously empty out the water. There's kind of like a stream leading off like underneath the wall to presumably nowhere. You kind of guess that this is where you just dump out any excess water, and you do that before heading out. And you're feeling refreshed as ever, and your hair is extra frizzy.
It's like, glorious. Okay. And then she will look at everyone. I'm guessing everyone's either asleep or just, doing their own thing. And she will lay claim to this bed.
Marius is just chilling on his bed and goes, I wonder, do you guys think that prestidigitation would help clean Guanmalia?
I'm sorry, I did not hear that.
I feel like anything would clean Guanmila.
At this point.
What were you saying? I couldn't hear you there.
Prestidigitation. Prestidigitation.
He asked if prestidigitation would help clean Guanmaila.
Okay.
So it would flip around and make you dirty in turn.
Make me an Arcana check, Caleb.
What the fuck?
You've never heard of the cantrip?
No, I in all my years in D&D, I've never actually done much of magic. It's kind of it's weird for me.
Well, this will make for some accurate role playing. Make us an Arcana check.
Well, I think if we're really going accurate, I should roll with disadvantage. So.
Yeah. All right. Well,
5.
11
How would
wouldn't
you
have
make
been able.
yourself roll with disadvantage?
Well, you
because
didn't.
I'm a good player.
Well, you normally roll normally, but since it's on left hand side, you failed anyways. You're like prestidigitation. That sounds like a stinky cheese. What the fuck is that? Magic and more magic nonsense. Why is everyone so obsessed with magic here?
It's a magical spell that can be used to clean areas. Usually about a 5-foot square area, but I don't know. I don't have it myself, so I don't know whether it would be useful on a creature.
Was that like the ability you were using before to fix the holes and things that are broken?
That is mending. That is something that comes innately to me because of
Those
my
different
symbol.
spells?
Absolutely.
Yes.
My. The world is such a mystery to me.
Guan has achieved a really good homeostasis, just
Just meditating. So yeah, you can use this opportunity to roleplay if you like before you head off to sleep.
Well, Caleb just goes, cleans himself off, picks all the crumbs out of his beard, reapplies his his special war paint, and then goes back to bed.
And yeah, you leave a fair bit of hair in the tub in your wake, but
yeah,
you can't quite get that out
big
with a bucket.
hairy man.
Exactly. But you kind of like head down to the bed and almost crumples beneath your weight, but
there, just roll my back, just.
But you instantly just pass out and begin snoring.
Eggle.
Yes.
Blood magic, eh?
Yes.
It's usually really frowned upon around here.
I guess.
Probably be good not to mention it to anyone other than us.
Yeah, Marjani will peek up. Yeah, what is this blood magic? I don't think I've ever heard of it before.
You've never heard of blood magic?
No.
And I'm going to have to ask for DM intervention on this one here, but with me rolling a natural 20 on my Arcana check about blood magic, Marius will start rattling off the studious notes about blood magic.
All right.
Okay.
And you can tell it is literally book learned information that would be there, not from personal experience.
As he is telling me all of this, I kind of just look at our tiefling friend kind of suspiciously. So that explains the skeleton hand.
I'm gonna look at Marjani and be like, say it sort of just with my eyes, just be like, "You got a problem?"
Like, no. Once you don't, kill any innocent people, I don't have a problem with it.
Nobody's innocent if they're being killed by me.
We'll see. And she will look
Unlikely.
at Marius. She'll look at Marius. So, that marking on your arm.
On my face, actually.
On your face, sorry.
Oh, I fucked that up. My apologies.
Right. That marking on your face, I guess that means you're dragon marked, huh?
Yes. Mark of making.
Oh, so there's different types. Didn't know that.
Oh, there's plenty of different types. And he'll go again into the book learning about all the different types of dragon marks that there are and which races normally have them, or which races do have them, I should say.
Make me a history check to relay this information to Marjani with advantage, Marius, to see how much information he learns, because I have a very special file with information on the dragon marked houses.
Ooh.
7.
Unfortunately, with a 10, you're only really able to relay information about House Stekhanif.
An 11.
11, my apologies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with an 11, you're only really able to mark off knowledge about House Stekhanif, and House Stekhanif is basically like the engineers of the city. They invented the Warforged in the first place, which of course has made them very popular and has given them a high amount of power. However, they're also in competition, you mentioned, with House Orion, which has constructed not only the tram system in the city, but are working towards a new invention that could potentially put House Stekhanif out of business. So House Stekhanif is working on their own new invention to compete with that.
Interesting. So there are different types of houses. So it's not just anyone who can get these marks. You have to be a specific type of person.
Yes.
Interesting.
You also have to be born with them.
So it just comes up. So I'm guessing if someone receives this, then, it's passed on like a genetic thing.
Yep. If I have kids, they will most likely have the mark. Just like my father has the mark.
And what about your father? You
Mm.
don't seem to like him every time someone brings him up.
He's a stick in the mud. He always gets mad at me. I don't know. Like he runs the house here in town, and he just doesn't really have time for me unless it's to be yelling at me for something. You stole a dagger, or you stole a wrench, or he just always is down on me.
But you did steal those things.
Sounds like you steal a lot of things.
I don't mean to. It just happens sometimes, and he unconsciously will start feeling around in his pockets to make certain that he hasn't lifted anything again.
Thankfully, you don't find anything unfamiliar in your pockets this time.
It happens, and I don't know why.
Have you ever thought about putting bells on your wrists to make sure?
No.
And she will come up to him and she will basically be like, okay, look, here's what's going to happen. You seem to have some sort of compulsion with this whole stealing thing. How about I help you out with it for a while? Does that sound good?
Sure.
Intervention.
Intervention.
If you can help me with that type of thing, that would be great.
I don't know how well
The first step to solving your problems is to admit you have one in the first place.
Thank you, Cog. Yes, Cog is right, and surprisingly wise for his age, which is like a day.
Always known I've had the problem, so that's not a big issue about admitting it.
I guess we have to figure it out. Did something particularly happen when you were a kid? Get bumped on your head? Witch or some kind of thing happen?
No, not that I know of.
Could be something like that. Well, I guess as we keep going around, we'll try and see if we can figure it out. For the time being,
All this
though.
noise wakes up Alondra.
You're just hearing Marjani and Cog have an intervention with Marius.
Oh, so you're a thief, huh?
Not intentionally.
But yes,
Not intentionally?
How are you unintentionally a
Really a
thief?
thief.
It just happens
Actually, we can put
sometimes.
this to good use.
Things just end up in my pockets a lot of the times.
Yeah, and sometimes I
We
end up just happening to play blackjack.
Ooh,
No,
we could
I mean,
definitely use
seriously.
the skill.
I don't realize it, and it's there.
Shh, Marius, listen to me. We can use this skill. Okay? The next time we're in a crowd, just stand in the middle of it. Stand
No.
in the middle.
You can see
I'm
that
sorry.
he's like
It's fine.
the more talking that's going on about it, the more stressed he seems to be
statistically
getting about it.
impossible.
Okay, I think at
Marjani
this
will
point
come
it's safe
between
to say
there
that
and
Caleb wakes up too.
Yeah, Caleb, you just hear all
Yeah,
this
just-
commotion going on.
What's all this
Oh, no.
about?
And you kind of turn on your side of your bed and it begins to creak again.
Just
As he is doing that, I will, as Caleb is waking up, I am just gonna look at him and just be like, oh, no, it was quiet for a while.
I'm dead-
I
I'm
was
dead
just
asleep.
trying to get some sleep. Uh-oh. Okay.
I'm
to
sorry,
make a con
did you
save.
cast...
Time-
You
time to
don't
make
make
a
a...
con
Here's how sleep works. You don't make a save.
I don't.
Instead,
It goes
the
against your
person
health
using the
points.
spell rolls an
Are
amount
you
of hit points.
serious?
So
Yeah.
as soon as you wake up, it's kind of like Roger in American Dad. It's like, go back to sleep. and you just... Your eyes turn purple, Marjani,
I
and...
have to ask a question though, because sleep has a specific radius, does it not?
90
Yeah,
90 feet.
it's
That's true.
90 feet.
Is there anyone else that gets hit with the sleep spell that
See,
has lower
20
hit points
free
first?
hit points. Here's the thing. Caleb has 15 hit points, so unless someone has
14.
8 hit points, nobody's going to sleep.
No, it starts on the lowest amount of hit points first.
Oh, it starts on the lowest. Okay, then...
We're all just pretty much knocked the fuck out.
Yeah,
Like,
I
okay,
No,
screw
Yeah,
this.
no.
I went back
So,
to sleep.
It's a 20-foot radius, you said?
Yeah,
90.
20.
Are you aiming it
No.
directly at Caleb?
I was aiming it directly at Caleb, yeah.
Oh, alright, so let's see who that hits, because it may not knock out...
It's
So-
it's 90 feet.
So
It says on
You
the spell.
said it knocks out the person who
Hey,
have the lowest
I'm
amount of
safe.
hit points, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it says 90 feet if you look at it.
That's the range.
I think
That's
that's
the
the
range.
range.
That's
Oh,
the range.
The
okay.
actual
So,
radius itself is
Here's the
20.
thing. Caleb doesn't knock out. Instead, Eagle and Marjani just no, wait, no, you don't hurt yourself. Sorry. Marius and Eggle, you aim it at Caleb. Your eyes turn purple, and you swirl like these astral stars around your arms with the power of your deity, and you kind of sprinkle your fingers, and piles of stars begin coming down and kind of dangling over the heads of everyone in the area, kind of like a baby with a bunch of toys hanging in the air. But instead of Caleb being knocked out by the sleep spell, since he doesn't have the lowest amount of hit points, instead Marius and Eggle both just fall unconscious on their beds and fall asleep instead. While Caleb is unaffected.
Caleb turns to Marjani and says, "Am I really that much of a threat that you would try to knock me out with magic?"
Yes.
If that's
I'm
not how it
guessing
works, it is now.
Caleb just kind of looks to himself and goes, "That's fair. That's fair."
Well, look at it this way. At least you get to go back to sleep now.
Fair enough. At least nothing interesting has happened. All I know, magic, I still don't trust it. The only thing I trust, my fists and my axe.
So
Hmm.
magic can put people to sleep too? I was
Magic
always
can
sleep was
do
natural
all
construct.
kinds of crazy things, Metal Man.
Magic
It's
can do
best
a
not
lot
It
of
appears
things.
so. This one agrees.
Hmm. And as she is saying that, you want me to show you?
Seems a little creepy.
He just
Okay.
turns his head and
Around
blinks
this,
audibly.
Oh wait, Caleb is human, right?
Yeah, I'm human.
Okay, so what I am going to do, how much do I have?
You have one more spell
Are
slot.
you fucking serious?
No, it's not a spell. It's not a spell slot. It's
But you're
this.
still attacking me.
Oh,
No.
it's not an attack.
It's a feature.
It's a
So
feature.
basically,
Eyes of light.
I can share dark vision with at least, let me see, up to
Ooh,
3 people.
cool.
So as I'm doing that, eyes are just gonna go purple again, and you just see what looks like to be purple shroud just cover both Caleb and Cog, and they can now both see in the dark up to 300 feet.
100 feet.
All right,
300 feet.
So Caleb, your eyes turn purple as like the sick eye shadow kind of begins like spiraling and getting this purple illusion in on itself as you can see everything as if it was like brightly lit. And Cog kind of blinks his eyes, and as he opens, his eyes turn purple as well. And he just looks around like freaking out a little bit.
It's like,
You're
what?
like, no, no, no.
What has happened to me?
Calm down, calm down. Now you see how I see.
Can one always see this way?
Nope, just me.
Yes.
Caleb just kind of looks
I'm
around.
getting conflicting answers here.
Caleb just kind of looks around.
I have
and
dark
just
vision as
mutters,
well.
Odin's beard.
That doesn't answer my question.
I'm still sleeping.
Moisture.
I'm going to this room down here.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, you just kind of take your blanket like a kid who can't sleep in the middle of the night and just head off to another bed. And attempt to sleep.
Alon just starts snoring very loudly.
This has been a strange experience. I am powering down now.
Good night, buddy. And she will go and she will
Caleb
take
just kind
it.
of sits back down on his bed and just mutters to himself. I like this.
And
then
but you had to
falls
sleep.
soundly to sleep.
All right. We'll say with that, you all head to sleep. And we're gonna take a 20-minute break.
All right.
Hey.
Good job, guys.
I actually have to go in 20 minutes, as I said earlier. I have to leave at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh, that's alright,
Okay.
man.
That's
I'll,
fine.
I'll take over via NPC for the time being, but that's alright.
No
Do you
worries.
mind if I actually play your character for you?
Yeah, no, yeah. And, our characters are the closest, so Matthew,
Famous
by all
last
means.
words.
Yeah.
That's a very Pacific time to go.
Famous last words. That's great.
Just
Yeah.
just the only thing the thing to keep in mind is that he's just snarky and
Did you give
and he
him
doesn't
this,
really like it when
We're
people.
taking a break right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
20
we
minute
are.
break, so
Yeah.
go do what you need to
Can
do.
I turn my face can off?
Go ahead.
Yes, you can. We will be back
Cool.
in 20 minutes from now.
Nathan, who would you give the most Hollywood accurate representation to Egil? Crusade is the most similar character.
I'll be right back, guys.
Let me think about that for a second.
I might go get myself
Oh.
another sausage.
Darth Maul, sort of.
Darth Maul.
Cool.
Okay.
I try to keep my D&D. I try to keep my D&D characters exactly. I try to keep a lot of my D&D characters. I like to play like a certain kind of character, but I try to keep them different enough.
Oh, of course.
He doesn't talk. He doesn't talk as much as I'm.
Few
Also.
words, actions over words.
Yeah, for the most part.
I got you covered, bro.
The other character I'm playing is kind of like a. God, he's like sort of the Hound turned Rob Stark. He had an arc where he was just like a sort of like a stuck-up like prince, but as the campaign has worn on him, he's grown more of a sense of responsibility and a sense of honor, and that's the arc that I'm rolling with for my other campaign.
Personally, I go with a mix of Reinhardt from Overwatch and Wrecker from the Bad Batch. Kind of that big, meaty
Yep.
tank just Just
Yep.
smash everything together. So that's the best part. So
I guess Eagle's kind of like Crosshair a little bit.
speaking of, is everybody caught up with Bad Batch?
I am not.
Nope.
I have not seen
Haven't
that.
even seen
I
it.
don't think
No.
I have even seen that.
It's getting good. It's only into 3 episodes. I've seen them all. It's getting pretty good. That's all I'll
I
say.
have not seen any of it.
I just like my only complaint is like I don't like kids.
Yeah, I think they're focusing too hard on Omega as well.
Like here's the thing about the last episode was like they had a chance to resolve a problem that sensically you would have solved, but by the end of the episode they just didn't. You know what I'm saying? At the end of episode 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just
I had a good chuckle was a meme that I saw, and it was Anakin Skywalker and Senator Palpatine make a surprise visit to a children's hospital. And someone's like, "Oh, that's so nice," and they're like, "Wait, what?"
You made-
Oh, that would execute Order 66.
Has anyone read the Vader comic series?
Yes,
No.
fantastic.
It's
I'm
great.
so glad that it's in the new canon. So
Yeah, I like.
Oh, okay. It's new canon. That's really
it's new canon, but it's the same developers as the old Marvel Dark Horse comics. So back
Oh.
The original
Ooh,
2003.
those are good.
What I'm
comic
really
series.
sad about is that they have a whole ton of novels, and a lot of that
Yeah.
is not canon because
Yes, they
it's
do.
not part of the rules.
I have a phrase called canon until proven otherwise. So it's like unless they write something that directly contradicts it, it's like the Plagueis novel for me, that's still canon. All the
Yeah.
KOTOR games, that's still canon.
I've got the original novelization of
Ooh.
Revenge of the Sith right here. I also have this original X-Wing things. This is from my uncle. This was published 96.
But do you have the Death Troopers?
Oh,
No, I
Death
don't.
Troopers
But
is
I
good.
also but I also have the other 2 X-Wing editions. This was published 98 and 96 as well.
Oh.
And these are hands down probably some of my favorite Star Wars novels.
I like. I read Deceived, the Malgus book. That shit
That is
was
a really good one too. That
that
is a
shit
really
was
good
good.
one. I would recommend as well.
Did you see the UA Star Wars 5th Ed books? For
No,
D&D?
actually, no, I didn't. I know that D&D does have a Star Wars aspect to it, and a friend of mine by the name of Dylan, we were trying to plan something and get together, but it eventually never worked out, and then COVID just
Well,
kind of shit everything. So
they did an entire Star Wars 5th edition rulebook. And
That's
The
really
only issue that I have with it is, instead of just lightsabers, they made light weapons for everything. You could have a light bow, a light whip, a light sword, a lightsaber.
I heard that you can get a light axe as well, and that
Mhm.
was what I had for my character.
I
in that
want a
campaign
light
as well.
whip.
Light
interesting.
whip
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Light whips,
sounds
yeah.
cool.
Lumaya
In
had
KOTOR,
one.
You know, Kreia? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how she does that little floaty lightsaber thing, and she has the 3 lightsabers float around her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You can actually do that
That's
as
cool.
a archetype of the consular.
Oh, that's so fucking
That's pretty cool.
It always reminded me of Virgil from Devil May Cry, how he had the spirit sword swirling around him like that. I always got flashback to that. So
I'm trying to get once I get a PS5. I already beat Devil May Cry 5, but I'm gonna get the SE for the PS5 just because
Right
it's
back.
that good of a fucking game.
yeah, I got the.
I actually
I
got
have
a
I have a
PS5.
Pro, and I've got all the DLC, including the playable Virgil pack. I just love that game so much, and the soundtrack, Nero's theme and Dante's theme, just hypes me the right
Oh,
fuck
man.
up every time.
Subhuman's just such a great fucking song. I
Subhuman
remember.
is good, and
the-
I really love just the build up to Devil Trigger. It's just it puts it perfectly right.
It's got one of the best video game soundtracks I've ever played.
I'm curious what they do for Devil May Cry 6, if they're even gonna make.
If they
6.
do it, I don't know. I feel like they
Really
wrapped
good.
up this. They wrapped up the story in a nice place. If they do it, it's not going to be for at least 10 years.
So I gotta ask, you guys are D&D players. Anyone here play DDO?
DDO, sorry.
Yeah, DDO, Dungeons and Dragons Online, the MMO.
Oh no,
No, actually,
I didn't.
No, actually, I've heard of it, but I haven't had a chance to play it.
Well, it's one of the games that it's a free to play game with the option to pay. So I actually play it. I've got a main character named Rainia Tinker, Artificer being my favorite class, of course. Um, and she's on her 38th life, I think it is now, something like that.
Wow.
Because what happens in
It's okay,
BDO
we're on a
is
20-minute break.
when you get to level 20, you can get what's called a Heart of Wood, which allows you to actually reincarnate. You start back at first level, choose a new race, new class, new skills, everything else like that, and then you can go back up. You can go to level 30, and there's epic levels and epic whatever you want to call it. Spheres, I think is what they call them. That give you other perks as well. So right now, just for shits and giggles, I'm doing a 2 levels Artificer, 18 levels of Barbarian. Single weapon fighting build with the Rune Arm on the other hand, because the other hand with the Rune Arm grants you a perk depending on which Rune Arm you're using. So you could have like Hand of the Tombs, which I'm using right now, gives your weapon disruption when you actually are attacking undead. It has on a crit rate, your main attack will automatically destroy undead that are 1,000 hit points or less.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's broken.
Well, it's really kind of funny because also the single weapon fighting tree of feats and stuff like that, it increases the attack speed of a single weapon. So I see a lot of people that do the 2 weapon fighting and the 2 hand fighting, like 2 weapon and 2 hand fighting, because it makes sense for a barbarian.
Oh, totally.
But I was the only one who actually I've seen that does a single weapon fighting build with the Artificer dip. And when I did it for the 2 lives of Barbarian, my friend was always like amazed because he'd be a ranged fighter. And I was so fast, I would be into combat with the enemy before he even had a chance to attack it with his spells. And I'd be ripping him to shreds.
Cool.
So it's fun. But the Artificer is fun because you get the Iron Defender. So my crafter on the game is called Little Red Riding Hood. She's a level 20 Artificer.
Nice.
And she's got her Iron Defender is the Big Bad Wolf.
Nice.
Does anyone play?
I'm always a fan of things that have got good names and good nicknames and stuff like that. So.
Does anyone play Old Republic, the MMO?
I used to play a little bit of, I believe it was Knights of the Old Republic 2, I believe.
I tried the MMO.
It was the MMO.
Couldn't,
sorry. It was the MMO,
I couldn't get behind the movement system and combat system in it.
They improved it so that you have sprint from the start, but it's honestly like it's the avenue for my favorite.
I felt
start.
it was more like a dialogue-based game than it was a combat game to that, to be honest.
It's got both. I mean,
it does, but the way that it kind of like made some of your choices at that point, like you could choose to put into light points or dark points, and you can do like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool, and
it is, and the more dark side choices, the more dark side choices you make, the more like disfigured your character gets.
Yeah, I like that. That was pretty cool. I was a little shocked the first time I did. It's like, oh, what the fuck happened to my character? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Oh, he's ugly. Oh.
I think they really drew on that one from Fable with the whole karma system.
See, I still have not played Fable to this day, and I need to. I've heard
Fable?
so many good things about it, yeah.
The Fable series is fucking hilarious because you have your karma for good and evil, right? Yeah. But then there's also other things like thin and fat, depending on how much you eat. So there's these sacred doors, and you have to do specific things to open up certain doors. And there's this one door that basically wants you to be a glutton. And
yeah,
so
you have to be fat to open one, you have to be skinny to open one, you have to be tall or have certain color hair or like certain features.
Yes. And you can also, in all the different towns, you can marry women. So you can have multiple wives in different towns and you buy houses and stuff like that.
And I saw at one point, if you have, sex with multiple people, you get like a pimp hat at one point.
You can also get STDs.
You can get
lovely. Fucking great. That's a great sales pitch to someone who's never played the game before. Hey, you can get STDs in the video game. Try it now. God, my parents must love having me in the basement.
Yeah, my wife sometimes when we got into joking and everything else like that, get into sexual jokes or something, and my wife's like, "That's an interesting conversation you're having down there."
You asshole.
Be careful, you know?
You all right?
Recreation's supposed to be fun.
I like Mountain Dew, but not when it's shooting out my nose. Oh,
You gotta do the
thank
do,
God that
man.
was out of camera. Oh, God.
Do the do.
Oh.
He did the do all right.
I think the dude did him.
Just because it was out of camera, it just one nostril just
Sounds like a magic trick.
I've never done that before, and I don't plan to try that again. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, and I got face cam, so I can do this.
Excuse me.
Yes, let your anger flow.
I got something you don't. Baconator Pringles.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't. They're really getting creative with all these Pringles
Yeah.
flavors.
Dude, it's good.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Somebody's getting high and just like trying to figure out how to attract more.
They just-
customers.
they
Let's
love
see, what can we what can we make into it? You know what I'm really
Make it a
craving, man,
fucking
is a
burger,
baconator.
dude.
Yep.
They
Damn
lock
it, boy,
someone-
I'm in.
They lock someone in a basement. They just keep getting them high, and then they're just like, "All right, what are you craving?" And then they make that the next Pringles flavor.
100%. I'm just
That's
looking
like
forward
a
to
peanut butter banana
like a chicken
sandwich.
I
tender.
missed that. What's
Chicken
the new
tender
Pringles
flavor, like a fried chicken.
Baconator.
Baconator
Oh,
Pringles.
Baconator would be good.
They
That's a real
have
thing.
it. They
It's a
have
real
it.
thing. Look, if Jeremy could stop
Ah!
hiding the thing, it's a legitimate thing.
That's so cool. Want some?
So I
I'm
was just
fat,
thinking
okay,
about
I'm
something. You
fatty.
remember how we said before about the face cams not to turn them off before when we were actually in it because it messed up the
Well, that's
live
also
stream
because
thing?
we're on break, so.
I know, I was just looking and I can still see us on
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I should have muted myself.
I
On
see
Twitch?
us on.
Yeah.
Are we still why are we still on?
Oh,
Still
because
live?
we're doing our break.
We're live right now.
We're
Oh.
live.
Whoops.
We're live on
Oops.
break.
You
Uh-oh.
see me stuffing my face with Pringles
Uh-oh.
here. I'm sorry, folks.
Did I say something I should not have said? Oh,
I
we're
don't know. I think we all might have.
No. Ian just said we're
Oops.
not live.
Well, we were just
It's
talking about
okay.
I'm
Fable and
hosting
STDs,
it and it's
so
showing
that's,
everything right now.
I
good.
actually have to bounce in like a minute. So this has been fun, fellas.
It has been fun.
It's
Hope the
been a
rest of the
trip,
session
dude.
goes well.
I'll
All
play
right.
your
Next
character to the best of my abilities. And,
I trust you.
Thank you, and I hope to God that Eagle is still with us in the next session.
Ian said,
I hope
Ian
so,
said thanks
too.
for stopping by. Ian said thanks for stopping by in the Twitch.
Yeah.
All right.
Karen, Nathan,
Later, fellas.
we'll see you
Later.
next week. All right,
Um,
so the objective is to kill his character, right?
The objective is to put him to sleep for a long time, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's a shame he doesn't have any hair. We could just like shave him bald.
Put him to the long
Oh,
sleep.
can we draw on him? Can I draw on him?
I feel like
Can I
we
cast
should.
charming on him? Can I charm him?
That depends. What do you want to charm him to do? Do you want to be like sexually attracted to a barrel? Because that's funny.
I want him to
Guanmalia.
be
To
sexually
Guanmalia.
attracted to Guan.
Yep.
That's awesome.
He's fawning over the guan.
Yes, do
This is gonna be
it.
great.
Do it.
It's gonna be so awkward for Guan. He doesn't
Can I
understand
do
that.
it?
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Really though, can I do it?
Do
I
it.
feel
Ian?
like we're
Do
not.
it.
Well, okay, wait. You know what? So the timer's still going on the feed.
Well, like I said, I can see us all on Twitch right now.
Yeah. Maybe
So,
Ian needs to know.
Although our
He said-
bodies
he
are all
said-
messed up, our like panels are in the wrong spots. I can see.
Yeah, I
us
mean
all.
Ian's fixing it, but he said we are not. I mean
I don't know how I'm seeing it then, but I see it right now. I see you dancing on it.
I like how Matthew's over there doing the Numa dance, just like
yeah.
Better than that, Kitty.
Put in the music.
Kitty lick dance
'cause
or
it's
whatever?
copyright music.
Yes.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
And that is your entertainment for tonight.
Oh, now I'm getting an hourglass.
Oh,
You must have
up,
turned it off on
yep,
us. Oh, no,
yep.
there we are again.
yep. Wait,
I certainly hope we got that, because I'm not
Oh.
doing it again.
look at that. Look at that. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, excuse
And you know, it's
me.
funny because I actually have the Jeopardy music going on in the background of my headset right now. Just waiting around to start playing again.
That
Poor
theme lives
Ian's
in
got
my
to
head
do all
rent-free.
the setup for us.
Again.
Oh yeah, he said sick moves, brah.
You're welcome.
Yo.
So what is it they're setting up behind you there, Elandra? You and your hubby there.
Oh, we're getting a canopy for
Oh,
our
nice.
bed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's gonna put some more supports up top. But it's going good. We're supposed to get the curtain today, but I think someone stole it off our porch.
I was gonna say, just make certain when you actually reinforce that canopy really good before you set up the swing on.
Hey.
Hey!
Sorry about
Hey!
that, guys. We're live for real
We
this
are live.
time.
Were we live the whole time?
We
Yeah.
were live for quite a lot of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the whole time, but I gotta find a way to keep the face cams where they're supposed to be.
I hope I didn't cause you to become demonetized by what I said.
It's a mature
my
stream.
God.
It's fine. It's a mature stream.
I
think they're gonna
love
give a
this
shit.
so much. This sucks that we only do this once a week. God
Aw.
damn it.
Oh, well, I love having you guys.
Yeah.
All
happy
right.
to- happy to be here.
So.
Okay, I guess I can stop the Jeopardy music now.
What happened? So, as you all get some much needed rest after a long day and a hit and miss encounter with your first time with the Dark Lanterns, may not have made the best impression with Cassandra, but nevertheless, you're just happy to get some much needed rest. However, as you're sleeping, something strange begins to happen. Guanmila, as your head is rested upon the very, very moist part of the brick wall, you begin to hear something. The sound of rushing water. And not only is it getting closer and closer and closer, it also sounds like there's more and more water forming at once. Until suddenly, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
I will
Uh-oh.
do my best.
He said something about water damage. Oh shit. Oh
No!
So, as you're just laying your head, you
Oh,
kind of
Malik, go to bed
slowly
tonight.
glaze open your eyes, kind of lazily, like, and suddenly, whoosh, the brick wall you're laying your ear upon just launches you against the wall and slams you on the other side. You are going to take only 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you're just flung against the wall and you can hear your spine crack a little bit and one of your ears begins to get a little bloody as water begins to suddenly rush in. I need everyone else to please make me perception checks.
Okay, so
And
I'm
Elandra, you get disadvantage because you're further away.
Oh shit, music just got real intense now.
Yeah, let me
Yo.
turn down the music a bit. Sorry about that.
No, it's good. It's getting me amped up.
What's
Alright.
with the Inception horn?
Please, everyone has that now ever since Inception. Look at this! Nat 20!
Hey.
Let's
Nice.
go!
Do we
Let's
need
see
to
if
roll
I
one
can
as
get it
well
again.
for COG?
Yeah, roll. I'll roll for COG. You're probably not gonna need it since there are enough
Here's
successes.
Eagle.
Oh, Eagle, thank you for that. 11.
11.
Okay,
The
so.
same. Oh no.
So. everyone thankfully notices this basic information. Before you drift into a deep slumber, you hear something that almost sounds like rushing water, and you can even hear your friend Guanmila. There is some rummaging going on. Marjani and Caleb, you both hear like the sound of flinging and walls just breaking apart in the other room, and you could safely assume that Guanmila has just been flung against the wall somehow. And it almost sounds like rushing water coming from the south end of the cavern, and it sounds like water is coming your way. As you open your eyes to uncover the source of the sound, you all wake up to find that the floor beneath your bed, even you, Elandra, is beginning to get submerged with water, and it is rising oh so quickly.
Somebody tried to
I'm
kill us.
running.
I need you guys to roll initiative. Stay right where you are.
Oh,
So,
shit. Yes, let's get into this.
So how initiative works, before you guys start rolling, is I got an initiative tracker here. I'm gonna get rid of this. You need to click on your tokens, and as you click on your tokens, then go into your character sheet and roll initiative. Cog will share Marius's initiative.
Okay. So what did you say again? Click on our token?
Yeah, click on your token and then roll initiative. Ellie, I'm gonna have to move your character back
Oh, that was
on
awful.
the bed, unfortunately.
That's for me, and then now I'm gonna roll for Eagle.
Initiative.
10.
Is
10
it
on
just
both.
a basic roll?
That actually works out fantastic.
Yeah, what is your initiative bonus?
How am I rolling initiative?
Alright, 1 second. So, when you're in your character sheet, there should be a segment called initiative near the top. Just click on the initiative text after selecting your token.
It looks like a big square next to the shield icon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Has like a 2 above it, or in your case...
For some reason, okay, there we go.
It's right in the middle there. At least now.
Right near the top.
Right?
Oh, it's coming back.
Yeah, a little bit of varying volume here.
Character
L, if you
sheet
see
and
where your
then-
speed and your armor
Initiative.
classes,
Yeah, do you
it's
see
right
where
in
the
between
speed
the
and
two of
armor
them,
classes?
Oh.
just above hit points.
Yeah,
See, right
initiative
there.
is.
Got it.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Hey, you done did it.
15.
Hey.
Good
Hey,
roll.
it's not bad.
Very good roll.
Okay, I think that's everybody. So, a few things to keep in mind. First off, you did not gain the benefits of a long rest. So,
Oh, no.
any damage or any spell slots you have lost earlier have still been lost to you. And Marjani, since you went unconscious, that means you lose concentration. Since you lost concentration, that means you unfortunately do not have your dark vision ability up at the moment.
Okay.
As well, at the end of each round, the water will begin to rise up more and more. More specifically, it will begin to rise up 10 feet after every round. And there's only about 30 feet of roof up above you, so
Oh shit.
clock's ticking. Marjani, you're up first.
Okay, so it's quickly filling.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so what are where we came this direction, right?
You came to the over here, yes, in this direction.
Okay, I'm guessing it would be
Yeah, you could go through a couple of different ways. You can go through there. You can also like pass through into this bedroom and head up the stairs this way. There's a few different options. It's kind of a multi-layered room. You can even
Okay,
pass through
yeah.
here if you want to.
all right. Can I make perception to see if there's like something causing this or anything like that, or
Please make me a perception
Okay.
check.
okay, yeah, give me a second there. Right.
Because this might very well be like a magical.
Actually, roll with advantage, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay, perception.
Is this a flat spell?
Hold on.
You get
I've got
advantage.
Yeah.
Thank God you get. Oh,
Oh.
yeah. You are just thrown to the wayside as soon as you wake up. Just you are
Ooh.
getting a little nervous, or more worried about the water that's suddenly rising than where it's actually coming from. And by the looks of it, it looks like it could just be coming from anywhere. You've never been in a space like this before, and by the looks of it, for good reason.
With that, she will try to dash out. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
As you see
6,
Marshani just
7,
full tilt with her frizzy hair just flying.
8.
By the way, the
9.
water is 5 feet up, but you are taller than 5 feet, but you are technically in difficult terrain, so your movement speed is unfortunately reduced by
7.
half.
Okay,
So you get about 30
right.
feet as you're just
35
speed walking through the
because
water.
she has 35
that's
speed. Yeah.
Yeah, you just see
is it safe to
Marshani
say-
just full tilt, like speed walk through the water as it's just rising
What
into
are
her neck.
the squares? Are the squares 10 feet or 5 feet?
5 feet, but
5.
you're in difficult terrain because the water is about 5
So-
feet high,
Yeah,
like
so that's
neck
half.
high.
Okay.
Yeah, so your movement
Okay.
speed is halved. Is there anything else Marshani would like to do with her turn?
Let me see. I
You
think
dashed, so you use your action, unless you have a bonus
Yeah.
action.
No, that should be it.
All right. Elandra, you are currently regretting your life choices as the water is beginning to flow and you are separated from your party.
Because I know where my party is, and I can see it flowing from the staircase over here. I'm going to assume my party is not full of morons and attempt to leave the room I'm in.
Alright, it will be difficult terrain because the water is about 5 feet high, but you could still use your full action to dash about 30 feet.
Okay, so how far can I go? Can I get to the top of the stairs?
Let's see. Yes, you absolutely can. You can get to about here.
Cool, that's exactly where I'm going.
Just kind of like speed walking through the water. Alright, is there anything else you'd like to do? Do you have a bonus action?
Do I have a bonus action?
I don't believe so, unfortunately. Now that I think
Yeah,
about it.
I only have one action. There's nothing else I can do.
Marius!
Okay, Marius is going to say to Cog, you can breathe underwater. Try to help anyone who is trapped. See if you can help Guanmala. I'm going to run
Of course!
here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there.
He is unaffected by difficult terrain as well.
Oh, if he's unaffected, then he can move right in.
Oh, he can move right in. And he sees Guanmila on the ground, and he's like, don't worry, this one will soon be lifted to the stars. And he uses his help action to save you from being prone, Guanmila.
Yay!
And you are no longer prone. Is there anything else Marius would like to do? What was bonus
That's
action?
it. He double moved.
Cog points out while he's in there. A hole bursted through in here. Water is pouring in quite fast. Make that alarmingly fast. Alright. Caleb.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't a situation that I can't chop or break my way out, so I'm going to throw my fur cloak on, make sure that it's not covered in water, and slowly make my way.
Did you put it in the chest, or did you just keep it on the bed?
I kind of just like half took it off and threw it on the bed, so it's kind of.
So half of it is soaked and half of it is not.
Okay, so I kind of just like, fuck it, just throw it on and I'll deal with it later.
It's
And,
awfully damp to the touch.
Lovely.
It smells pretty rancid too.
Oh, that's just me. So we keep going. So we're going to travel 15 feet. Oh, jeez, only that far? Fuck, I'm gonna drown. Okay, I guess only that far.
Trudging through the water. Make me a perception check while you're there, please.
Perception check. Hiya! 4. Shit.
It's what? You know
Wet.
that much. And there's water.
It's watery. Lovely. That's all
Important
I can
facts.
do for now. That's all I can do for now.
Akel, it's your turn.
Well, he's going to do pretty much the exact same fucking thing. So he's going to gather up his belongings, make sure that he doesn't leave anything behind, and go 15 feet, which is...
Now you can use your action to dash and move up even further if you wanted to.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another 15 feet.
Oh, then I will do that for both characters, actually.
Alrighty.
Mistake. I
So
should have done
let's
before.
get. I'll move
Mistake.
Eggle for you.
Thank you.
Just
and
right
I
behind
will move
Marjani.
myself.
Just a conga
Another
line of people like
15
speed walking through the
Gunga,
water.
gunga, gunga.
Right behind
Gunga,
here.
gunga, gunga. Try not to die.
Guan
Gunga.
Myla, you are lifted up by this strange metal wooden being. Not yet covered in mushrooms.
Am I fully awake at this point? I mean, I got-
Absolutely.
Okay.
You are definitely awake.
am I able to see? Like the waters are high. This not alive, not dead or undead creature, or maybe alive, is carrying me.
Yeah, he is not carrying you, he just more so helps you up for the
okay.
time being.
So, I mean, this probably isn't the first time that an area that I've been sleeping in became flooded. So, I kind of say, hey, like let's go to higher ground, and I motion. He's helped me up, but I think together, and it's very heavy. I try to move to higher ground back to where we came from.
Alright, so do you use your action to dash?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so that can bring you to right about here.
Okay.
Now Warford says,
Don't worry, I was always curious what it would be like to swim.
You are adorable, cop.
alright, at the top of the round, the water begins to fill up even more. It is now 15 feet high, which means it's not quite high enough to block off the rooftop, but athletics checks will need to be made to swim across, unless you can provide assistance in one way or another. However, the Warforged is still unaffected by this. It just gives you a thumbs up. Marjani, it's your turn.
Okay. So I'm seeing this going on. And can I do, if I cast a spell, does that negate me using athletics, or?
Depends on the spell.
Depends on
because
the
you can
spell.
use certain ones as bonus actions.
Depends on the spell.
Okay, so if it's an action spell, then I can't use
No,
it.
if it's an action spell, that's fine. You just have to use the athletics check as you're moving, I'm going to say.
Okay, because I wanted to use guidance. That was the spell I wanted to use on my friend right here, just in case something goes down.
Alright, so you kind of lay your hand on his shoulder, and your eyes kind of turn purple again as purple energy kind of seeps through your hands, and his veins kind of get covered in this purple, warm, comforting energy, and he feels inspired with some guidance.
Okay, and I will try and do some swimming.
Right,
God, I
make me
love
an
these
athletics
gifts.
check. Nice.
I'm sorry, I'm weeping out over this, but this is fucking cool.
Alright,
Well-
12. So you are able to move at difficult terrain as you're just like breaststroking through the water. And you're
Okay.
having a bit of trouble because you're not quite used to a lot of water from where you come from, but you try to get through as much as you can. However, you have some difficulty and can only really move about 15 feet.
Okay, so right here.
Yes.
All right. I don't have anything else, so that should be the end of the turn.
Alright. Melandra. There is now about 15 feet of
Okay,
water.
Let me see what I can do. Can I see
Athletics.
Marshana yet?
Yes, you absolutely can.
I would like to ask her if the others are okay and behind her.
Or Shawnee will look at you and just like, yeah, they're fine. There's a lot of water coming down, but if we try to make it out as quick as possible, we'll get out.
We need to move fast, or we're all gonna die here.
What he said.
Okay. See if there's anything I can do to actually help people.
Unless you can teleport someone, magically grab someone. I mean, there's not much else you can do other than move and make sure that you're safe. That's all I would really say that we can do at this point.
Yeah.
We just need to focus on getting out of here first, and then we can assess the situation. Because we don't know if this is a spell that's saying, we just need to get out of here for the time being. None of us have noticed anything just yet, and I rolled a fucking 4 for my perception roll, so... If anybody wants to have another try, go
roll
ahead.
For athletics and attempt to dash.
Go for it.
Oh no. Come on, roll a 20.
Hey, that's
Well,
not bad. You've had a
oh.
fair bit of practice at the pool in your old home, so you kind of do like a... You try to be fancy about it, but because of that, you don't get as far as you'd like to, and you can move at difficult terrain, which means you can only move about 15 feet.
Okay, so about right here.
Yep. You try to be elegant, but unfortunately that ends up slowing you down a little bit. Marius. And Cog.
Could I substitute with an acrobatics check as opposed to the athletics on this?
I'll allow it. Acrobatics or athletics. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. That may have been better for the other two. 17.
Very
So
nice.
you're less about like brute force with your swimming methods, or try to go for more elegance, and you go for a special technique where you kind of backpedal your legs and you stroke away at the same time, and because of that you can swim at full movement.
10, 15, 20,
Very
25,
nice, very
30.
nice.
Cog does not swim, so he'll just have to move at difficult terrain, unfortunately. He's just...
Alright.
I'm
And
alright. Everything is fine.
after I get myself to that point, I'm going to make certain that I take a deep breath, because I'm not sure if it's going to fill up the entire room yet or not
Alright.
before next round.
Caleb! Keep in mind, I would like to mention, this may be metagaming a little bit, but don't forget, Rage gives advantage on athletics
That's what I was
checks.
going to say.
Okay, good.
Because I was going to do that regardless, because my athletics is a strength thing. I was going to ask, if I use my rage, that will give me advantage, correct?
Yes, it will.
Okay, so if that's the case, I use my bonus action to go into
You just kind of clench your fists together from the sudden anger. They fucked up your coat, man. That's not okay. Clench your fists together, just yell out as your blood boils and your veins pulse out. You get advantage on this check.
Angry swear.
And you just, like the Terminator, is just angrily dashing, like... And you can move at full speed. DC is 15.
DC is 15. I wasn't really paying attention there.
So you can swim at full speed, basically.
Okay,
and could
so
use
yeah,
an
that
action
was
to
actually
dash
perfect.
if you wanted to.
Oh, yes, I will. Thank you.
You don't have to worry about going over each other, since there's like various depths and you could easily just swim under or swim over.
Is the current also pushing us in this direction since it came flowing in from the other area?
It is a little bit, but that's not exactly affecting your movement, just more so how difficult it is to swim.
Okay.
Eggle.
Okay, that's right. I also have to
And
roll
he
for
has
this.
guidance, so you can add
Does have
4
guidance, so
to his
4
athletics check.
to athletics check. He even has that as a plus, which is fantastic.
16. He can
and plus
also...
an additional that is.
He's a Viking, man. Water isn't even a problem for him. He effortlessly
Swimming,
brute forces his way through the water. So he can...
Haha.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah. Angry Viking swimmer. Brah.
Guan Mila.
So, as a bonus action, I'm going to shift into my full werebat form.
Alright, so you kind of like almost drift off and get your hands stuck on the ground, but you all, anybody who looks behind you will notice that there are suddenly claw marks on the ground as claws begin to merge from his fingertips. Would you like to describe your shifter form, or would I? Would you prefer it if I do it?
I mean, either way is is fine for
All right.
me. Yeah.
I'll give it a crack then.
Sure.
So,
yeah, go.
the skin on your back just begins to mold into these like fleshy, mushroomy wings, and they just sprout out as mushroom juice gets splattered all over the ground. All of your skin just turns to fur, your teeth begin to grow sharper than ever before, and your eyes mold into these uncomfortably silky white eyes as you all see Guanmaila's true form that I do not have a picture for, unfortunately. Basically, imagine a half-man, half-bat. He's even taller than he was before. He let out a little bat-like screech.
That's a really good description.
Man-bat.
I just keep thinking of Man-Bat from Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Exactly. Basically.
So what can I tell that, like, is the water coming from my room? Or
It
is
is
it coming from
it definitely coming from your room. Make me a perception check to see if you notice any other sources.
Okay, and I think I get
Advantage. You do.
Yep. All right.
Well, if your new radar-like senses.
Yeah. Yeah. Advantage.
Your ear kind of perks up and immediately traces a sort of rushing water coming from this segment of the room as well. You get the impression that this is the second place where water seems to be rushing in. But as far as you can tell, these are the only two water sources you know, and I'm going to show them right now.
Oh, okay.
Right about here. And it sounds similar to the room you were just in, so you presume that a wall was just busted open with a sudden force of water. And
Got
the
it.
moldiness probably didn't help with that.
All right. What I wanted to attempt to do is to move within visibility of the main source, and I wanted to attempt to cast entangle at the source to see if that could stop or slow down the flow of the water just a little bit.
Does your bat form come with a flying speed?
It does not come with a flying
Well,
speed.
fortunately for you, I think that's horse shit. So you get a 25 feet flying speed while in your bat form.
Oh, it's
So you
Christmas.
don't have to make an athletics
sounds
check
fair.
to move. However,
That
you
sounds
only get 25 feet movement as a result.
That's quite all right. Yeah. So I move here. Let me just see. Entangle. Yeah, 90 feet. Okay.
You're just gonna like create a barrier, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
A barrier of vines.
It's a 20-foot square.
20 feet square. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get an approximate amount. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
math this properly, but generally speaking, something like this, kind of centered around.
Perfect. Yeah. Or if we could, I don't know if I could move it. Can't go through a wall because then it would block.
It
kind of
wouldn't be
both
able to go
areas.
for a wall. It
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to reach
no.
that either way. It wouldn't be able to hit both.
Okay, perfect.
Has that like stopped it in any way?
Make
or-
me.
Uh-oh.
Actually,
Mhm.
no. That's a pretty creative use of your spell. You hold out your hands and you kind of stick to the top of the wall, and these vines covered in assorted mushrooms and portobellos
Yes.
begin just swirling through the rooftops and then comes down the wall, and all of these vines with mushrooms sticking out just begin swirling and covering up the hole to the best of its ability, and it seems to have stopped the flow of water. You don't know how permanent stopping this flow is.
Right.
However, it has slowed it down significantly. So at the start of each round, water increases by 5 feet, not 10 feet.
All right.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay!
Yes.
And that is a fantastic use of the spell slot. Again, I agree with you in there. That's fantastic. Jeez.
Thank you.
Never would have thought of that. So,
I was just looking at it. I was like,
Hey, Jeremy, give
Yeah.
yourself a point of inspiration.
Oh, yay!
Hey! You earned that. You earned that.
Thank
You
you
certainly
very
did.
much.
Speaking of which, it's the start of the next round, and you all notice that the water is rising, but not quite as fast as before. So instead of skipping to 25 feet up, it's skipping to 20 feet up in the air.
Okay.
So you
Still,
still
we
have
have
to,
to make our athletics.
yeah, you still have to make athletics checks, unfortunately.
Raj.
As
Okay.
Marjani, it is your turn.
Did you say we could use acrobatics checks or?
Yes, you
Correct.
could use acrobatics check instead. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier.
Okay, because I was gonna say I had this prepared. Well, not prepared as a feature.
Nice.
Okay.
That
then.
reminds me, I keep forgetting about that with my Arcana checks and tool checks.
So
Yeah.
you kind of notice that Marjani begins kind of swimming by, but kind of like Neo from the Matrix, begins like kind of spinning in different directions as she does so, kind of to cheat some of the strokes she needs to swim underwater. So you add a D4 to your acrobatics check to swim.
Nice, very nice.
And you see a rune. Where is your rune, by the way? Your
21.
dragon mark.
It's on my shoulder,
You
and
s-
it's mostly covered.
Her shoulder,
Uh,
even through the covers, begins lighting up. And that is enough to move at regular speed through the water.
Can I make an Arcana check on that rune? On her
Please
arm?
do. And with advantage, because you are very familiar with the dragon marked houses.
While we're all just slowly drowning and making our escape. let me
You're just like,
save
that's
my
actually-
partner here.
6, 7.
I also get to add a D4 on that.
No, it's probably just some probably just spellcasting focus.
Oh wait, can I dash or is just?
You could just dash. You could dash.
Just-
That's
So
fine.
that gave me a
so
10 in
it's-
total for it.
Yeah, so you're not quite sure what it is. You presume it's some kind of spellcasting focus, and she clearly has magical prowess, as you've seen before. You're getting
Okay.
closer to the entrance. Alandra,
I would also like to make an acrobatics check.
please do.
Landry sees she's on the stairs and is like, oh, maybe I should try acrobatics instead of just roughing it.
I mean, you are more elegant in your approach.
Ooh.
Oh, she tripped.
So you try to swim forwards, but you know what happens when you try to swim forwards and there's a sudden like rush of water and you push in the wrong direction and you're just pushed back. That is what's happening to you.
Oh
And
no!
you have lost
Like
your
Chutes and
movement
Ladders
as you
right
were
now.
just pushed back by a sudden like surge of water as Marshani just dashes past you.
Dang.
You're out of movement,
Bruh.
unfortunately. Bruh.
No.
Marius.
All right. I see her struggling. Or him struggling, I should say.
Him. Yeah. Yeah, it's a him.
All right. Can I use my action to grab a hold of him? And then my move action, I will do my acrobatics to try and swim forward with him.
I'll say you can, but you will have acrobatics at disadvantage if you do so.
And no, I'm not going to worry about it yet because I have my Warforged coming up that can help him.
And
That's right. We still have Cog.
So acrobatics, 13.
13, so you're kind of beginning to slow down a little bit. You kind of lose a bit of inspiration as you see Marjani just effortlessly last pie you. So you can start to get a little bit tuckered out, and you can move at difficult terrain instead of full terrain, unfortunately, with that roll. And Cog
Okay.
just begins marching forward.
Good old
Okay.
Cog.
Alright. Caleb, as you were just angrily dashing through the water.
Well, all thanks to my
The sea will
It's
not
going
take
to-
you!
It's going to last for another 9 turns.
Yeah.
Now, because Elandra rolled a nat 1, is she at, or is he at a disadvantage at any point? Or,
No,
like-
he just had to move back a little bit.
Okay, if that's the case, I'm going to make a similar strength check, and again, because of rage, I have advantage. And then I roll a 16.
16. Yep,
Yeah.
you're able to move again at regular speed. You're just like almost like you're punching through the water with the amount of force you're just using to push through. So you can move at regular speed.
50 here, so to there. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with tiny mouse. There we go.
Just so you know, when you're actually doing your measurements like that, when you left click to draw your way, if you right click, it'll put a dot,
God,
and
how
then
you
you can
could
turn.
do that. Thank you
That's
for
right.
reminding
Thank you
me.
very
I
much.
knew there was a way you could do it. I just couldn't remember how.
Eggle.
Okay. I guess he's going to do the exact same thing as me in the last turn.
Does not have guidance this time, unfortunately.
Does not have guidance, so we're just going to roll this plain and simple. Come on, big money, no whammies. Ooh, that's a
Whammy.
bit of a whammy.
So you don't move back so much as you're just like, he's just kind of struggling at this point, like
Same spot kind of thing.
And he is just stuck in the same spot. As
So
you can
he's
see,
going
Eggle
to-
begin to tucker a little bit. Swimming with a skeleton hand is not quite as easy as it seems. And in fact, it almost falls off at one point. It's just like, no! And he like struggles to get it and snap it back into place.
I'm guessing only 15 feet?
He cannot move.
Oh, he
Actually,
cannot move.
he
Oh,
cannot move. He rolled a 2.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Guanmila, you're still flying in the air.
So, you said 25 feet?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm gonna move 25 feet. And I don't know if I'm pushing my luck here. I know I have the dash action, but the other thing that I was thinking of before was using my thorn whip and attaching it to like one of the wooden posts or like the walls, so it actually drags me forward.
Spider bat
Huh.
does whatever a
It only
spider
has a
bat
15-foot
does.
range, though, I think, doesn't it?
So, what you're
As-
saying, you want to use it to like propel yourself forward?
30 feet. Yeah.
It's very free.
Oh, it's a 30-foot range. Pull the creature if it's large or smaller. You can pull the creature up to 10 feet closer to you. So yeah, I wanted to use it to kind of give me an extra boost of movement. I was thinking about that while I was in the water.
Make me a thorn whip attack roll,
Okay.
and let's just say you better roll high.
Lend
The
him your
normal
energy,
roll,
folks.
right?
Lend him your energy.
Normal roll.
Come
So-
on.
I know what you're trying to do with that.
Oh.
Okay. 18, please.
I know what you're trying to do with that for the pull, but that only moves you 10 feet compared to 25 feet.
Yeah.
It would if it was a lower roll. However, that was an epic roll. So I'm going to allow you to fly up an extra. Normally it would be an extra 25 feet to dash, but this kind of propels you forward, kind of like Batman Arkham Asylum, where you fly down and then you like use the wind to fly yourself up at the last moment. That's exactly what you do as a whip kind of forms from inside your hand and just whoosh, lash it onto a nearby chandelier, and you are able to move up 30 feet
All right.
instead of additional 25 feet as you fly up just past the Warforge. You're right.
Right,
Oh
yeah.
shit! Sorry.
Uh,
There you go. Like nothing happened.
There we go.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for
I did not know
allowing me
this
to do
one
that.
could fly.
None
Alright.
of us hear that because he's underwater right now.
At this point, I would like to know what everyone's height is. More specifically, is there anyone who's 5 feet tall or shorter?
Oh, I'm 6 foot.
No. 5'9".
6'2".
So, the water is at 25 feet at this point, so you're all just barely able to keep your heads above the water. And Guanmila, unfortunately, your wings do not have enough room in
That's
this
okay.
environment, so you are no longer able to fly.
But wouldn't the
And have to
wings
swim
also
like the
propel
rest.
him more under the water?
It depends,
Swimming
because if you
wings.
go to flap, it's going to put negative resistance on it when he goes back up to reflap the second
Yeah.
time.
It depends on how he moves his bat wings. I would imagine it's like
Also
like, it's
depends-
like connected to his
yeah.
arm, so it could be like.
But we'll say the
Swimming like
DC is a little bit lower,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna give him advantage. Marjani,
fair.
water's
That's fair.
getting pretty close to rooftop.
Okay, let me see. So I will try and do another.
Where is this the door here, or is
That
this
is the door. That was
So this is the
right
door.
there.
This is where we
Yes.
need to go.
This is a door.
Oh shit, I'm already there.
Yeah. Okay, so I will do an acrobatics.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
So, unfortunately, you kind of begin getting caught up, and you don't have the. Wait, how long does that D4 boost last?
I think. Oh, wait, let me see.
Is it
Check
like a
back up.
once a turn thing? Is it with one check?
wait.
The
I think
intuitive
it's
motion
just
is a
you
permanent.
can do it as
Make a
much as.
dexterity or
Yeah, so
acrobatics
add your
check.
D4 to that. Strongly recommend it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Extra.
Alright, so thankfully you have a lot more trouble than you did before, so you move at quarter speed. However, you
That
are
should be
not
enough.
moving at no speed, which is what would have happened if you kept it at 5.
Okay.
Oh, you
quarter
can't look it back there.
speed.
Sorry.
Yeah. So quarter speed would be like what? 2 spaces?
I was just moving.
Yeah,
other
so
people's
right about
numbers.
here.
Right. Can I at least try and push open the door?
Before you do, you notice that there's a pink glow beneath the door, and I would like you to make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Not a magic lock. My one weakness.
Maybe it's just
Okay.
a strange source of light. Carry on.
Mhm. Okay. So, you see this pink thing? I don't know what it is. Just think, okay. And I'm gonna try and see if I can like push open the door still.
Make
Oh,
me
there
an
we go.
athletics check.
Ooh.
Damn it.
So you like use your shoulder to ram into the door, and it you almost break your shoulder from the force, and the door is
my
just completely unaffected as you bounce back about 5 feet.
All right. That will be the end of it.
Alandra,
Mage hands do.
Mage Hand. Well, Mage Hand has a
Ooh.
range of 30 feet, and can be used to carry objects about 5 pounds. About 5 pounds. It can be used to unlock doors and other surfaces.
Anything additional?
Not
hand-
unlock, but open doors, unless you have the
Yeah.
rogue
Cool.
arcane.
It can't like pick a door open, for
Okay.
example.
If you were levitating, it could push you, but
That's about it.
Yeah, very basic.
It's kind of like poof. I have third magic floaty hand here.
Mhm.
Could she, because she's in water, that makes her really light, could she use her mage hand to grab herself and pull her the movement speed of the hand?
like to aid her at least.
I don't know. DM, could she?
She could.
All right, then let's do
Okay,
it.
I'd like
I
to
like
do that.
this.
All right, so let's get you a fancy Mage Hand. There you go. Close
Yeah,
enough. You're a noble,
that-
right? So you kind of
That's cool.
your tattoos begin to light up with this purple energy, and this golden fist of a Mage Hand begins
Zawardo.
grabbing your shirt and just pushing you ahead, and you have the benefits of the help action. So please make me an acrobatics check with advantage.
Come on, big money, no whammies.
Or athletics or acrobatics, whichever is higher.
I don't know. Acrobatics, but it won't let me roll. Oh, that's why.
Early roll 20. It happens.
Oh,
20!
nice.
That's 20.
So,
Hey.
with the benefits of the hand, you just feel a huge weight is lifted, and you just elegantly push through the water like it's nothing. Not only can you move at normal speed, but you can actually move at double the normal speed thanks to your natural 20, which is good because you used an action already, so you can't use a dash action. However, now you can move up to 60 feet thanks to a natural
Nice.
20.
Nice.
It's just elegantly dart through the water
Well, that's
as you all see
exactly
this
what I'm gonna do.
golden gauntlet just shoving her backside.
It's like a speedboat.
Yeah.
Better than a motorboat.
Awesome.
Make me an Arcana check, please, as free action.
Thank you. I certainly will. This pink glow. It troubles me.
Yes, quite.
Ooh.
Doesn't look
Wow.
like magic at all.
It's just some strange light.
Yeah, it's just a strange light. What's everyone so
That's
worked up
pretty.
about? Marius!
All right, so I'm going to continue to try and acrobatics to swim.
Go for it. And you want Cog to just come up even further?
Yep. He's Can he grab Guanmala and drag him along?
He will make an athletics check to do so.
So
Come on,
with a
Cog, don't let us down.
14, I can get to here.
He
and
does
still have action.
Since he rolled a 2, he tries to drag Guanmilo along, but in his new form, he is much heavier than you'd expect him to be, and he has a hard problem just pushing him through the water, and because of that, he wastes his action trying to move him, so he can only move
Cog
15
can survive
feet.
underwater. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay for now, but Guanmila is more important.
And
It's okay, buddy.
as for Marius, he can move at half speed, thanks to that acrobatics check, and make me an Arcana check as well, with a free action.
I get to add a d4 to this as well.
Nice.
Oh,
Guys!
what is
That doesn't
this?
matter, because the rules of my games are a natural one
Right.
always fails.
All right. So
Pretty
with my
nice.
action, then I'm going to try to open up the door.
They're throwing a party. Make me an athletics check, please.
All right.
Come on, big money, no whammies. We already had a whammy. Oh,
What is up with this?
So
one
you
door?
try to kick it open, but you realize you're underwater, so that requires way more force than you're used to. So you almost like break your ankle in the process. What are these rolls, man? Caleb, you're up. Time to
Alright,
see
I guess
show
it's
these
up to me to bust
weenies.
down the door again.
Time to show these
before-
weenies how it's
First-
done.
first
Before
things
we're all
first, I have
done,
to-
I'm going to take a deep breath as well.
Okay. Yes, take deep breath. Roll Arcana on the door. Let's see what it does. It's not really gonna do much.
Wow. The person who hates magic knows what
So
the magic
the
is.
woodsman from the north,
It makes
who
hates
hates
magic.
magic with a passion, figures out. Wait a minute. They must be using magic to lock the
It's
door
magic lock.
on the other side. That means it's harder to break through than it normally is.
Just my specialty. Then I move closer over here, and thanks to
Athletics check with
rage.
advantage.
That's correct.
And you also get, yeah, well, we'll say you're able to get up there no problem, so this will be to break it down.
Yes.
19.
High enough.
You use the force of the water to bull rush the door, and it begins to snap inwards. It's not quite broken down yet, but it looks very close. The door is just on its hinges, and water is very slowly beginning to leak out, but it's counteracted by the water rushing in. However, the door looks very like it's on its last hinges.
Would I be able to make if I can speak English? I'm sorry about that. Can I make a bonus action and make an attack with my weapon?
Well, technically, weapon
don't
attacks
have any
use an
weapons.
action, and you
Oh, true.
use your action to try and break down the door.
And I guess there isn't anything else I can do.
Unfortunately not.
Okay, so that's the end of Caleb's turn.
Eggle.
Eagle's turn. He is going to make a athletics check, which is technically still a strength check, but still.
14, so he is
Not
able to
bad,
move
yeah.
at difficult terrain. So his speed,
Is that
movement speed is
half or a
halved.
quarter?
Halved.
Okay, so that would be
30 feet if he dashes.
Okay, so 10. Okay, so
He could go on a diagonal though.
Yeah.
Can go on the diagonal?
Yes, you
Okay.
can. It does not.
Okay.
Diagonals don't cost extra movement in my versions.
Okay. He's just close enough there. And he's not in the range to attack the door,
No,
is
he
he?
used this action to dash
Okay,
anyway, so he
so
wouldn't
then
be able
there's
to.
nothing more we can do.
Guanmila, unfortunately, you are no longer able to swim, as your wings are just too big to carry you
Aw.
over the water line.
I'm no longer able to fly.
Nope. But,
Okay.
however, the DC is lowered, so instead of a 15, it's a DC 12 for the acrobatics or athletics check, whichever is higher, to swim across.
Come on, bud, you can do this. Yes!
15.
Yay.
So yes, you kind of use your wings to blow you backwards, and you're able to swim at regular movement.
Okay. So I'm going to dash then.
Go for it.
It's 30
So you
feet
can
there.
additional 30
That's
feet.
another
So you get about
60
here.
feet right there. Boom.
Nice.
Beautiful.
All right, let's do it again. Attack the door. Break
Wa-
it down.
The water has fully filled up the roof at this point, and you find yourselves all submerged. However, most
Break
of you
it
were
down.
smart enough to hold your breath, and it hasn't quite gotten to the point where you're going to begin drowning. However, I'm just going to say make your next swimming checks very carefully. Marjani, it's your turn.
Okay. So the door. Okay. So the door is basically mostly broken.
On its last
Mostly.
leg.
Yes.
Last legs. Okay. I am going to try and shove my weight through it. Not that strong, but still.
Athletics
I
check.
guess that would be a flat. Oh.
Wait, do we have our weapons?
We'll
No,
say
no,
you
No,
grabbed
check
your.
I don't
the
think.
door.
No, we do.
We'll
They're
say you
locked
grabbed your equipment
upstairs.
on the way out. To be fair.
Right, but our weapons are
They're
upstairs
in
in
the
the
door.
locker.
Oh yeah, you
They're
don't
in
have
the
your
lockers.
weapons. You're right. Sorry, but
Yeah,
you still
so
have
you
like your
can-
armor
Yeah.
and other items.
Cool.
Yeah. You still have some of your
Okay.
gear on, basically. So
Yeah.
Except for a certain Warforged who was told he didn't have to put away his weapons.
He gives
Yeah.
another thumbs up. This
Okay,
time of-
so let's
yeah,
see.
go
oh, I'm getting nervous here, man. I'm getting nervous.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Fuck it. Okay. If I'm gonna cast guidance on the. Oh shit! I need to swim over to him. I'm gonna cast guidance on the barbarian friend right there.
Oh, you don't have to
Since-
swim over. It has a 30 feet range. Or is it
Okay.
touch?
It's a touch.
Oh, it's a touch spell. All right, that's fair. You don't have to make a check for that.
Every
You can
time we
just.
touch,
I get
Yeah.
this feeling
Every time I
Alrighty,
so
Yes.
You kind of lay your hands, and Caleb once again gets covered in purple energy and veins, and his veins are already bulging from raging and pure
If you
agony.
didn't like magic now, you'll love it now.
Rain.
Can I still make athletics, or would that just be an action?
That would be an action, unfortunately.
Okay, then I will just take a. Holding a breath, would that be a bonus or just an action?
That would be an action as well, unfortunately.
Okay, so I guess I'll try not to drown at least.
Elantra, it's your turn.
Okay, is taking a breath an action when I haven't done anything yet?
Yeah, it is an action, but I would allow you to move your mage hand up to 30 feet and do something with it as well. Normally that's
Punch
an
the door.
action, but I'll allow it if that's what you want to do.
Mage Hand is a bonus action, I believe, to move, isn't it?
I believe so. I don't think it technically is, but I'm allowing for it in this case.
Is Guan about 30 feet away from me?
Guan is... Yes, he is. And he looks a little different. No, he's 35 feet away, unfortunately.
Oh no. Can I use the mage hand to attempt to open the door?
You can. So you send the mage hand over, and it tries to grab the handle and open it up, and it seems to be locked from the other side. Even though it is on its last hinges, it's still barely being able to hold together.
Okay.
One quick sorry, because I was away
Can
from
I
the
use...
door. Is there any like pieces coming off of the door that she can like pry away
There is not.
with the mage hand?
There is
Oh,
not.
okay.
Sorry, you were saying?
What is the door made of?
It is made of wood, but very, very thick wood. Kind of like something you'd see in a castle.
Could I potentially use Firebolt to burn it down?
Make me an intelligence check, please.
Would Firebolt work underwater?
That's why she's making an
Yeah.
intelligence
That's
roll.
why. Oh, make me an Arcana check, more specifically. Make me an Arcana check. Sure.
Ooh.
That would totally work.
Wait, was that for my Arcana or my Intelligence?
It was for Arcana.
Oh, yeah.
Kana.
Okay.
Yeah, it would
And
totally
you said
work.
I could do it?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. That's what I want to do. So I roll Intelligence.
No, you just rolled Arcana. Sorry, that's what I meant. You make the Arcana check to see
Oh,
either or
okay,
not it
cool.
would work on water, and with that roll, you think, yeah, this could totally work on water.
I think it might burn my compatriots, though. It might boil the water around them.
Alright. You did roll pretty low on the Arcana.
That's
So-
dying.
That's not
Oh,
something
I
you
hate
consider.
metagaming so much right
Yeah.
now.
It's
So,
like the
so the
music's
boiling
making it
other
worse,
people
right?
alive is not something you
Yes.
consider, as the only focus on your mind
Yeah.
is getting the hell out of here.
Well, it's been nice, boys.
What?
Don't worry,
no,
Guam-
I,
Guam
you can't
Islet
make
is-
me do actions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there enough air in the room for me to be able to talk to the people on the other side of the door?
There is not. It is fully submerged at this point, from top to bottom.
We are gonna die.
No, we're not.
Maybe.
Can I ram the door?
Yeah, make me an athletics check. As you kind of
Me
take
and-
out your
I'm gonna try
hands
something.
and your tattoos light up, you're like, wait, I don't want to burn my companions alive. You just shake your head and begin to charge at the door. Athletics check, please.
Oh.
You use all of your force to slam it to the door, and it has no effect. Unfortunate.
Well, that's my action, so.
Your mage hand gives you a begrudging thumbs up to try and make you feel better. Marius.
Pat on the back.
Okay.
Yeah, pat on the back.
You're doing okay,
Massage.
pal. You're doing okay.
Marius is going to move down here. He reaches into his pack and pulls out a crowbar, slams it into the middle part of the two doors.
Yeah.
Kind of gives the nod over to Caleb as well, and then he will attempt to pry open the doors using his crowbar.
Nice.
Can I?
you could
help him
attempt-
while doing this.
It gives me actually advantage on the athletics.
Yeah,
when I
so
use
you can
crowbar for it.
use athletics with advantage to try and pry open the crowbars. You just gotta stick it in between the loose hinges and try to pry it open.
Good thing with a crowbar.
11.
Now, 11, it's almost there, and
Damn.
almost there. It's so close. You feel like
And
a
I'm-
toddler could just push it over now.
Yeah, and I'm looking over at Caleb and nodding towards him.
Yeah. I was gonna say you'd have advantage on this check, Caleb, but you have advantage anyways. What am I saying? Speaking of which, Caleb, it's your turn.
Thanks you to my rage.
Athletics check with advantage. DC is lowered
Yes.
even more.
Yeah.
How would you like to break through the door?
So I push my legs up against the wall here. I kind of ready my two fists and kind of Superman push my way through the door. And kind of just superhero landing pose.
And you bash through the door and you land on the other side as water begins to finally rush down and you and water begins leaving the room as you do so. And we are now out of initiative. As Caleb,
Oh.
you bash through and you see two one very familiar woman, Cassandra, with hands behind her back, seemingly nonchalant towards your sudden barging through the door, and instead is just kind of eyeing a piece of paper. Let me throw in some more appropriate music here. And you see someone you have actually seen quite yet. Who is she?
While sputtering and nearly dying, Caleb just shouts, "We nearly died! You owe us all an explanation now, or I'm gonna take your head myself!"
That won't be necessary. As you see, this woman. Dark-skinned woman, beautiful golden armor, a lance in her one arm that isn't, like, that's kind of, like, sheathed away, like the top part of the blade is kind of separated.
Like a naginata
and has a
in
beautiful,
lance.
like, skirt and long black hair as she just has her eyes closed, and she begins walking down. And you see her holding out both hands as the water around you begins merging around her fingertips as she casts Destroy Water and turns the water into dust with the clap of her hands.
Caleb kind of just brushes himself
she a
off
water
and just
genasi?
simply states,
She is not. She is a half-elf. What you witnessed, for those who are more magically inclined, was the Destroy Water spell. And she says, "Well done. Well done. Seems that the night can't even take hold of you."
I'm like rubbing my eyes because I was trying to sleep.
Master, you wouldn't believe it. The water suddenly let. Who is this lady?
"We don't know yet, Puzzle Man, but
I
I'm
think-
inclined to find out."
I think, Cog, we just passed a test.
Well, I can't say I fully approve of your methods. Seems a little cowardly if you ask me. What if there are other agents in here? Or endangered civilians in that matter? And she looks to Cassandra, and Cassandra is just kind of looking to you all, shaking her head, and she says,
"We were the
"But
only
on the
ones
other
in here."
hand, I suppose you won't always have a choice. And you managed to make it out at one piece at least. And you should thank the lucky stars your friend intervened when he did. Well done, by the way." And Cassandra's wide-eyed that this thing in particular was the hero of the day, as he slowly like merges back to his normal form,
Wait,
which is somehow less ugly than his full form.
I ignore what Cassandra said, and I turn over to Cog and I go, "Cog, good work on helping Juan Mila."
And
trying to save people.
Cog did help me very much.
Oh yes,
Thank you,
of
Cobb.
course. Your friend too was of great assistance, and you all did a wonderful job. But just keep in mind, if there are people to save in the future, you will not hesitate to help them out, as long as you serve the Dark Lanterns.
While their interactions are going on, I'm kind of just not even, aware of it. I cast Goodberry, which, I grow a bunch of different fungus.
You grow a bunch of like small mushrooms out from like a stem of plants, and you offer it to everybody.
Yeah. I eat a few for the health that I lost. And,
Yep.
yeah.
All right. So you gain those hit points back as your wounds begin to rejuvenate from the power of shrooms, and your eyes widen a little bit, perhaps from a bit of hallucinatory side effects. Who knows?
Hey, that's a plus in my book.
And Cassandra says, "Well, if they are in danger and they need to protect themselves at all costs, well, we'll have to agree to disagree in this one. Nevertheless, you're not quite as troublesome as she led me to believe." and Cassandra shakes her head as she says that, and Centaur looks
Marius
back to you.
puts his crowbar away.
"I was under the impression there were to be no weapons brought in here." Cassandra kind of walks up.
That's not a weapon.
A wheelbarrow is a weapon.
It's a tool.
"Well, he does have a point, Cassandra. He did use it as a tool, not a weapon. Hasn't caused any actual harm with it so far. But you may not be so lucky to have even a crowbar at your side when worst comes to worst. Just keep that in mind." And Cassandra says, "Alright, you keep the crowbar for now. What's the point of having rules around this place if nobody listens to them? But that's beside the point. You've all done very well, despite our conflicting opinions on the matter. I look forward to training you all tomorrow. Welcome to the Dark Lanterns."
Sweet.
Nice.
Kingsman
Thanks
vibes
for
from
always
this.
killing us.
Yeah.
Thank you for almost killing us, as she said.
If you assume that a crowbar is a weapon as opposed to the tool, then that means that the pittons are also weapons. The hammer
everything
actually
is
use the
weapons.
pittons are weapons.
Yeah.
My
The
fists
quill
are
used to
weapons.
write spells are weapons.
I was gonna say my foot is a weapon.
Yes, a very good points
My
as well.
body is a weapon.
That'll come useful in the following
About
days. And he walks to you, Marshani, and says, "You of all people should know that one must always be prepared. Be it here or there, day or night, sleep or no sleep. One must always be ready for what the world has to throw at them."
That is actually true. What do you know about me?
Only that you came from a faraway land. A land I may or may not have been a part of myself. Let's just say you're
Interesting.
not the only outsider in this city. None of you
I
are.
I will
One
keep
Malia
that in mind.
coughs.
I will cast mending to the damage on the doors.
Alright, and you repair the doors, and Cassandra's like, "Oh, thank you. Finally, somebody around here that's nice and tidy. Much obliged."
You flooded the entire room on purpose.
That's correct. And it's not the first time we've done so either, and Cassandra begins heading inside and casting prestidigitation on any of the wet beds or wet clothing, and begins covering up the walls and dispel
Oh,
magic,
actually-
the entangle spell.
I'll walk with her, and I will do the mending on the walls to. close them up.
I run to my corner and kind of like guard it from being fixed. So I like the weapon.
He likes the moisture.
It's like the yeah, well,
Yeah.
she cleans it long before you're able to
Aw.
walk over it. She knows you were probably gonna rush over there, and she kind of speed walks over.
Marius will mend the walls to fix them up too.
Yeah. And Cassandra says, "Oh, thank you. Perhaps I didn't think someone from House Caniff would make for a great custodian as well." And she kind of chuckles a
Not a
little bit. It's the first
custodian.
time you've seen her smile, so it's a little discomforting.
Not a custodian, but I like to have things in good repair.
A tidy workspace is a happy workspace.
Was that an underhanded compliment?
And they both, Zendala and Cassandra nods to Zendala, and Zendala said, "Rest well. There won't be any more surprises, I assure you. We have a busy day
Bullshit.
tomorrow." Yeah, you can make an insight check if you want, if you
Yeah, I
don't
think
fully
I-
believe her.
I'm gonna do that.
Go for it.
Fuck.
Guamila, you're not even sure what sleep is.
Yeah.
Michael, however, as much as it pains you to admit that the surprise was less than warranted, you feel a full assurance from both of these women, and get the impression that they are most certainly telling the truth. There will be no more surprises, tonight at least.
All right. Marius is going to disrobe and hang his things up to dry.
Cassandra fakes you
Ooh.
once again, Marius, and Sandala just says, "We'll leave you to it then. Good night." And looks
Good
to
night.
you, Marshani says, "And may Bolji be with you." And she walks off with Cassandra.
And to you as well. And I will just look back at her as she walks away.
Try to huddle in my original
Your
corner.
mage hand disappears. Yeah, you
Cassandra's
find that the
gone.
wall
I'm going to,
is yeah, go on.
Cassandra's gone. I'm just gonna
I'm
go
going
back
down here
where
to.
Gwynen's corner is. I'm just gonna throw like my water skin and just wet it down so you can actually have a
Aw.
nice place to sleep. Like, here, buddy.
So yeah,
Just
you,
both
Guan,
out of helping and out of spite because I almost drowned.
it's not the same, Guan. It's not as moldy and as slimy as it used to be, but it's close enough. You'll
I
take
can
it.
help. I can help it along.
Don't worry, buddy. We'll get some nice slime and we'll make it right and cozy for you.
And Cog powers down once again.
I thank Marjani. Like I give a thankful nod.
Mhm. I know.
Laundra, where are you checking out something out there, or
Yes.
I am.
What are you checking out?
I'm looking to see what's out here, and I see a water source over here near the bridge.
it's a good
Oh,
idea?
you
I
all-
think I'll
what
come out
used to
here and
be-
join you.
You see that you get the impression that there used to be water coming from this, despite Cassandra's best attempts to seal up the hole. You notice there's a few cracks as well, but however, The water below like this short bridge is like very faint. Like it's only about like 1 or 2 feet. You can barely get your feet wet stepping in there. It's more cosmetic than anything else.
Marius, after hastening up his clothes,
I'm gonna light a
rolls over and
bonfire
goes to
over
bed.
here because it's cold.
Alright, so you kind of walk over to this corner, and Dark Souls style, you kind of point to the ground, and the tattoos on your fingertips begin to light up with an orange glow as your hair turns orange, and suddenly you see a bunch of logs emerge onto themselves as this magical fire lights up with a campfire. Here, let's
Cool.
find a
I'm
nice...
sleeping here.
Where'd you like
It's
to...
warm.
Alright, we'll just put the campfire here.
I head back inside, hang up my damp ass cloak, and make sure that it's not smelling too bad, and trying to dry myself off and grumpily go back to sleep.
Alright.
This time, kind of like not fully like splayed out on my bed, kind of like half turned over, ready to jump up if anything happens again.
Right, so you're kind of
trust
like...
I don't trust him.
You sleep, but a little bit more restlessly than you would have
Yeah,
liked.
a little bit.
Ego will just pass out and head to sleep,
Yeah, you
no
just-
hesitation.
And Marius has got the covers pulled up over top of him because, as I said, he's got no clothes on right now because they're hanging
Yeah.
dry.
You sleep in your
Marjani.
Naked
Yeah.
Oh no, he's not even in his underwear because they were wet too. He knows
Just
not to
going
sleep
in
in wet
nude.
clothes.
Can't argue with
And
that.
to be fair, we all got soaked to the fucking bone. We were all
Yeah,
completely
just-
submerged, so
So he's
Trip
got all
down.
of his stuff hanging up.
time to
Hey,
get
I
naked.
got a fire in here.
Just hang
Oh
the
yeah,
clothes
our
next to
beds are
close to the
probably
fire.
soaked too.
So,
aren't
Yeah.
they?
Marshani,
No, she
you're not
expressed
really
the
sure
deviation on
where
them.
this fire came from, but it's very warm and very comforting as the smoke kind of slowly rises up into the ceiling.
Quick question, Ian. Wouldn't
Yes.
our beds be soaked? It wouldn't give us a good rest. wouldn't it?
Cassandra
think
managed to cast
she
prestidigitation on the
prestidigitation.
beds to make them as clean
Ah.
as they were before.
Precipitation. I remember that.
Precipitation. we'll get there.
The precipitation spell.
Wouldn't that make it more wet?
It's the joke.
You're wet. Yes, it's raining.
It's raining, man. What's Marchand doing?
As I see this campfire there, I decide, that was the best time for any. And I will throw some offerings, some rations into the fire as offerings for Baldry for keeping me alive for another day because, didn't know what was
It's-
gonna go down.
It smells delicious. And the thoughts of Baldry giving you comfort and warmth in these tough times, even sending someone else your way who follows under the same goddess, comforts you.
It fills you
more
with
than ever before.
determination.
It fills you with determination. And the food
Yes.
smells delicious as it cooks.
Well,
And the
burns.
fire.
It's just-
And then it
yeah,
burns, and it smells a little bit rancid. And Landry, you kind of notice that something smells like it's burning in the campfire.
It's like, don't question it. Go back to sleep.
What's that?
Alright. You all gain the benefits of a long rest. And that's where we're going to end the session for tonight.
Yay!
All right.
Yay!
Good job, everybody.
Yeah,
Good
that was
session,
great.
everyone.
Thank you guys. That was awesome. And I can't wait to see where the adventure takes us next. Thank you all so much for listening in. You can expect our episode next Friday, same time, same place. As well, this episode will be uploaded to YouTube, warts and all. And we had a few warts that I will try to work out for the next session. So hopefully we could get to that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed listening in. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna be lame here and say, is it Friday yet? All right. Good night, guys.
Until next time, my friends.
Thank you.
Remember,
Good night.
stay healthy, stay safe, and stay nerdy, my friends.
And this
Bye-bye.
is Agents
Bye.
of Change.